The pursuit of greatness begins at first light and never, ever ends. Time is the enemy, the ally, and the holy grail of every race car driver. Who will be victorious? Only time will tell. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. It is a poignant moment as we are racing for John. Nobody else, just for John. And I want to take this moment to say from our side on Raidillon TV, we absolutely hope, John, that you're watching us and that you pull through. It's no fancy intros, no nothing. Just a poignant word to say we're with you every step of the way, buddy. Absolutely. And we hope that any GoFundMe money raised goes towards the betterment of your health. That's all needs to be said. We're with you, buddy. And as always, I'm joined by Mr. Craig King. Craig, how are we?
Good evening, Rob. I did hear you on the broadcast. I think your microphone's the wrong way. A little bit of a solemn moment. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Major Series, the Daytona 500. What was meant to be a celebration of Dale Earnhardt Sr. for this race, using the 87 cars, has turned into, as we said, racing for John. John, unfortunately, going through some, I think it was brain cancer, which kind of hits home with me. My father had a brain tumor. I mean, he was fortunate; it wasn't cancerous, but for people like John, it hits them hard, and it's a shame. It is a shame. But the Major Series, we've only been part of the Major Series for what? 4 months, and the tributes, the touching words from Mike, the organizer, and everybody else, and the guys from Kinetic that he created. Really, how I see Major Series as an idea, a community to get people racing in teams, to form teams and make people just improve their selfish drivers. That all started with John with Kinetic Racing, and one of the things is that his number 6 will be retired. The Legends Trophy will be named after him, and I think it's fitting that his name's somewhere, and he will be part of the Hall of Fame. The first inductee to the Major Series Hall of Fame will be John King, and we're racing for John. Everybody here today, from the European splits, for the international that has gone, for the Americas, we're all racing for John. I did see some photos of John watching the international race earlier today, and it was quite touching. We'll do our best. We'll get through. We'll be back to our normal high energetic selves, of course, but we just got to take that moment and say, yeah, we're with you, John. We're with you.
I think through the race, we'll go over some of the very touching, and very poignant responses that have been the messages for the Racing for John. We hope to touch on as many as we possibly can throughout the race. And as I said before, we'll be with us, John, as we take you around the Daytona 500, practically as it was in 1987. And we hope you enjoy it, buddy.
Let's get back to what we're here for. As well as Racing for John, we're here for the Daytona 500. And like I said, it's the 87 cars, like I said, in tribute to Dale, because this was how Dale won. His first win at Daytona were in cars just like this, and this isn't what you expect to see if you did the Daytona 500. If you've done plate racing on iRacing, it's not that. I was clocking them going over almost 340 kilometers an hour on the straight. Basically, what you need to know is that's almost 210 miles an hour. There is no restrictor plates on these things. It is still going to be as much pack racing as you can, but these cars are a handful, as you can see. I've done it myself. You'll see when some of these guys doing their qualifying times, there is a lot of lifting going into a corner because you cannot go full speed. The steering on the steering will not give you anything. It gives you nothing. I remember driving these cars at Talladega end of last year. It was a fantastic feeling, and I remember driving these cars when they first came out at Daytona, and I felt like I was going to crash at every corner. And these are not just recreational things. These are scanned from those cars from '87, the Chevy, the Corvette, not the Chevy, the Corvette. You know what I mean? The Chevy and the Ford. This is what you expect. This is what you expect from what they drove in those times, and it is tough. It is tough, but also the times, they are actually faster than what you would expect to see in, if you expect to see NASCAR racing nowadays. It's kind of scary. Kind of scary the speeds they're going. You can see on the timing tower right now. Well, you can't see on the timing tower. You see Brad Walsh at the moment. Timing tower, Wes Hurd Jr. 42.510 is what he did. Brad Walsh, he comes across with a 42.638. I always say when it comes to Daytona, it's you don't want to qualify. For Daytona, you might want to qualify. For Talladega, you don't want to qualify. But when it comes to cars like this, you've got to, because it's going to be tough to fight. And for the next 2.5 to 3 hours, these guys, I would not want to be in their shoes, if I'm brutally honest. Godspeed. I don't know how anyone could do it with this. I did 2 Daytona 500s last week, and that was enough for me. Can you imagine doing a Daytona with a car like this, where you've got to be lifting, you basically just got to wheel it, like literally wheel it.
Yeah, I'm not skilled enough. I'm nowhere near skilled enough to run these things. And they slide like nothing you could ever think of. They just slide. And you literally have to hold your breath every time you go into a banking. That's about as much as I know about these cars. As I am.
Well, they did have a change. Because when they first came out, they were very uneasy. Very hard to drive, and they did do some changes to them in a patch for season 4, and it made a really good difference. And it did increase some of the participation. Also, iRacing do have their North Wilkesboro throwback race coming up in the next couple months. But this is what we're looking at. I think there's only 2 cars out there at the moment. Mike Gaunt in the number 21 is just about to do. I think he's going to do another lap, and Andy Banfield, I think he's done.
He's just crossing the line right now.
Yeah, 44.188. I was going to say, Rob, when you do Daytona qualifying in a normal car, right, in like the current Cup cars, your first lap is on the high side. Don't worry about getting tight. You go on the high side, get as much speed as you can. You come out of turn 4, you dive straight down, and that second lap, you hug the yellow line. With these cars, it's totally different. Yes, you hug the yellow line when you go through the corners, but you got to work out work out that combination of how much do you lift and how much do you steer, and when you get back on the throttle. It is a handful, as you've been seeing in those lovely in those gyro cameras that you've been showing.
Indeed. Yes, it's a lot of banking, and Craig's going to try and guide me through what these cars are, because I'm not an old one, man.
I'm holding his hand.
Yeah, basically, I'm a little baby, just being like, what are these cars doing? Why are they turning? How are they turning? Well, what we do have is the qualifying results. Everybody has done their qualifying laps, so we do have Brad Walsh on pole position with a 42.438, just behind with Hurd Jr. 42.510. Apsey with a 42.558. Weddle with a I keep doing it again. A 42.592. Boomsma, welcome back, with a 42.609. And that is Anil Singh with a I did it again. 42.642. And get into Klug with a 42.687. Erasmus with a 42.689 in 8th position. In 9th is Brown with a 42.767. JD Crow with a 42.785. Elder with a 42.918. Watley with a 42.925. Bronny with a 43.105. And that is, I think that is Stefan Wong with a 43.362. Then we go into Day. I think that is Mark Day with a 43.604. Andy Banfield with a 44.188. Marzov with a 44.626 in 17th. Solomonson with a 46.731 in 18th. And finally in 19th is Gaunt with a 55.379.
Yeah, just to mention just a couple non-qualified. Troy Anderson, Simon Fawns, Drew Lalonde, Adam Facaponti, and Scott Kukas. So we've got those, and that's in the order they will be starting. There'll be a full lap to go around, and I think just because I think it is a little bit poignant. Scott there, he's at the back of the field. Scott did leave a message. It was Adam. Sorry, not Scott. Adam left a message about John. We've a lot of these drivers in the series have left some great messages. But Adam as well was one of the first ones to put a message out. John is an all-round great guy. I was running the majors full time. He was one of the few people I kept in regular contact with outside the team I was with. There are lots of good people in the league. I'm just not very sociable. But John is just so approachable, friendly, easy to get along with. It's hard not to like the guy. Wishing him and his family the best. And to be fair, I've been reading a lot of these comments, and that is just the gist of everybody, what they're saying. All of them have not a bad word to say about this man. And you can see that all 24 of these cars today are racing for John. They are racing to win the Majors Daytona 500. And also be the first one in these cars, which is a real big achievement, full stop.
24 cars racing for John today in the European Sportsman Top Split. And 24 cars will most definitely be racing for John today. We're also racing for John through our hashtag. We have the GoFundMe page down below. Please consider spending any spare pennies that you have on helping John through this moment in his life, and hopefully he'll be coming out the other side racing back with us when he can. Absolutely, I hope so. The drivers have 200 laps ahead of them. It is 2 hours, I think, estimate, and we're just waiting for the cars to set off. Pace car will lead him around once time, and then it is go, as we do have, I think that is one car is actually starting in the pits.
It's Brad Walsh. It's the leader. Brad Walsh is in the pits. He's doing a pit start. Now that's interesting. And also, 87, that's Cole Apsey. Also, both of them. Same team, of course, as you can see. So, I think that's a little bit of, just a little bit there of maybe some teamwork. A bit of tandem drafting might help them. Of course, Brad and Kyle both racing for the Grizzly TFR Daytona Juniors. So it does give it. They've got a nice little livery there. That's another thing I wanted to say, Rob. It's very nice to see these liveries and how a lot of these guys are gone with some retro stylings around here. It's fantastic. Where are they? You're going to ask, but you can see where they're going to ask. It's going to be interesting. We've never done an oval sans the majors playoff at the end of last year. This is Rob's first time. He does not know what to expect. Go easy on him. That's all I can say. But because of everything that's gone on, technically, the inside line is the lead line. Brian Boozma will be leading the pack with Wes Hurd Jr. They're coming in to Daytona 3 and Daytona 4. This leaves me the chance to say, this is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. The majors, 500 darts now when the pace car goes in. Would you like to take it away, Rob, or
you take it away, please?
I wonder why. Coming out of turn 4, Boozma will lead them off. The pace car goes in. Now this is the old star. You wait for the green flag at Daytona, and the green flag drops now. Everyone's going to be going. You're not going to see any fireworks right away. They're just going to be staying too wide. It all comes down to who gets the biggest gaps. Who's going to take that nose in front? Who's going to lead the way? Wes Hurd, of course, will be on the high side. He's got no help up there at the moment if he wants some drafting. But at the bottom, that bottom line's looking good. With Boozma, the 30 of Kluge, the 20 of Brown. But that high side just giving a bit of a better line there for Hurd. Look at the gap he takes right away. Hurd will lead the fray out of all of them. And it's just going to be a little bit of tandem racing and a couple side-by-sides at the back. The 155 of Elder, that looks like Ian Erasmus. Jan Broom, the 42 there is Singh as well. The 808.
That's the 42 checking up.
The wall. He's hit the wall. He's hit the wall. The 808 hits the wall as well. But they all get going. No serious damage. They do have that quick repair, so nothing too hard, but that could have been something very big there for a moment, and it's a good thing everyone read it.
Lap 1, they've all gone around. Absolutely pandemonium at the start, though. That was the 3 and 4. That was the car 42 of Anil Singh hitting the wall on the upper side. And then everybody else on their lane had to check up. Oh, we've got another one hitting the wall. That is the car. Oh, that's Boomsma. He's gone into the infield, having to essentially right himself. He was almost going tooth and nail into the grass on the inside, striking the wall as he's coming out the 1 and 2, and he's all the way down now into 10th as they go into single file antics now at the moment. Cars are carrying a good bit of damage. That's a car of JD Crow ahead of him, and Brandon Klug is already in the pits.
Oh, I'm surprised at that. Must have been a fuel issue there for Kluge. Obviously, probably did not have the right fuel. But at the same time, like I said, you've got those guys of Walsh and Apsby at the back. They're just doing their own thing, tandem racing at the moment. They're 9 seconds back. If Kluge comes out, he might be able to get help with them, but they're already gone. So he might even go a lap down here. Of course, cautions are in effect, as it is with oval racing. Localized caution. I think the 115's just had a moment up ahead.
Oh, he just struck the wall. Stuart
Elder can't get off the wall. Finally gets off the wall, but he's down a few places there. It looks like he's gone down to 9th. It's a little tough time at the moment. You can see there's 2 little packs at the front. You've got Hurd and Brown working together. Bron and Day working together. It looks like behind them, Weddle there is just on his own. But then behind a few more cars. And you can just see how these classic 87s, the line some of these guys are taking, it's almost like you're racing an Apex on a real road track, Rob. They're going high in and then down low. It's just the way these cars are working. But that gap there at the front between Hurd and Brown, it's only 0.3 of a second. It looks a lot, though, when it comes to the screen. Not a big gap, though, in terms of the race. We're only coming up to lap 5 here on 200, so strap in.
I'm strapped in. Those 3 laps went by very quickly, but then I shouldn't be surprised. These cars are going 340 kilometers an hour as Brown is getting stuck in with Wes. Wes holding not the bottom line of the 1 and 2. They're actually sort of occupying sort of the middle between the bottom line and the middle line, if that is correct. Sorry, I'm still trying to. I'm asking Greg King to hold my hand through this.
It's fine. It's fine. Meanwhile, behind them, it looks like Mark Day's making the move on Brown. Brown is going to lose that position there. Now he's in a little bit of hot pockets because that puts him behind Weddle. Front aren't really moving much. Boomsman, by the way, 43.1. he hit the wall. He went back a bit, and it's doing well at the moment. 43.1, really good time there. Now it's a 44, of course, but when they get in slipstream, right now, look, before he came to that corner, he was doing 330 kilometers an hour. That's about 205 miles an hour. It don't sound a lot, but my word, when you're trying to go around in these cars, it is scary.
I'd imagine this would be the equivalent of strapping a rocket to your car and sending it. I mean, the engine. You're going at 240 kilometers an hour in a car that barely turns.
In a car that barely turns, I think I gotta check with my garage as well. What's the steering ratio? It's default at 14. It goes up to 20-1. I'll give you an idea that 14-1 is basically what some guys like to use on ovals normally, and that's the lowest you can get on these things. And and that basically, the more turning you put in, you need more turning to make the car turn. That just gives you an idea. And the wheels, well, like I said, they're old school wheels. They are. I'm talking the steering wheel right now. They're massive in these cars as these guys just continue. Like I said, it's going to be like this for a while. It's going to be a lot of pack. People are just going to be waiting their time. A lot of the time in these races, it's better to just stay together. Wait until it gets near the end and go for it. But of course, because it's Daytona, because you need the slipstream, you want to pit with people. You cannot pit on your own. You'll be out on your own. You will have no issues. So for the guys like Missed Apex, for the guys like Grizzly, Hanson Brothers, no emissions. You've got teammates all working in this, so you will get teams just coming in together or trying to come in together if they're working with each other. But otherwise, you're just going to have to start getting on that radio and seeing who is going to help you or who's going to work with you.
Top 8 are in their own sort of little pocket, as you can see on the timing tower. That is going to be Wes Hunt, Sean Brown, Mark Day, Jan Bruni, Jack Weddle, Brian Boomsman. He managed to recover, so he's still in that pack. Bruni is actually overtaken, I think, Jack Weddle just then, with Crow and Whatley sitting at the back of this group. Then we go into Mike Gaunt's group. He is the leader of the second pack of, I think that's the second pack of, ironically, it's the second pack of 7. I was about to say the second pack of 8, but it's not. But they are 4 seconds behind the lead pack of 8. Mike Gaunt will have to try and use the car number 115 of Stuart Elder if he can. Try and leapfrog each other, coming around the 3 and 4. That's 42 going up wide. And Anil Singh going up wide once again, letting Corbin Solomonson on the inside. But that is, I think that's Corbin actually having a little bit of a slide coming out of the 3 and 4. Letting Simon Thorns take a look on his inside, but he didn't let him through. Anil Singh still dropping, but he's actually dropped to the rear of that second pack. He's going to be letting the pack that is being led by Andy Bansfield catch up to him. They're still within slipstream range, so there's still a possibility that the slalom can essentially turn into a pack of headliners and a pack of everybody else trying to race and grab up to the rear end of them. But it's all still to play for, as Corbin Solomonson passing Stuart Elder, had to go up wide in the 3 and 4. He's going very wide in the 3 and 4. He's striking the wall quite hard. He's striking the hard. He's striking the hard. He's striking the wall exceptionally hard coming out of the 3 and 4. And he just needs to keep...
Oh, and Stuart Elder, he's got damage. He does have damage. The rear of the car does not really matter a lot when it comes here. It's more that nose. There is a little bit of damage to the rear of that car. What's the nose looking like? There is some denting on that wing. On that fender, sorry, as the Americans would say. So Elder's gonna have to have a little bit of a challenge. These little groups now you've got a group of 5 there. That's Singh, Marzov, Erasmus, Vaughan, Solomonson, and Gaunt. They're all on their little own at the moment as they're trying to catch up to what was the front pack. The front pack is just on its own, just having its fun. You'll see this. I like to call it like Grand Tour racing. If for anyone not aware of how pack racing works, think of it of like you're watching the Tour de France or Tour cycling, and you've got the breakaway group and you've got the peloton, and the peloton's like, no, we don't want that breakaway group, and you start pulling in, or you've got a group that needs to start cranking the pedals and cranking the gears, and that's what you'll see. Especially with the guys that we were talking about at the start of the race, Brad Walsh, Cole Apsby. They're now only 2.5 seconds. They started from the pit. They're now only 2.5 seconds off the first of the packs that they are. They've also got Brandon Kluge, as I expected. Yes, he went down a lap, but Kluge using that to his advantage, the three of them working together to get back, doing really well at the back. They are 16 seconds, which isn't a lot. Isn't a lot around here. I'm looking at Brad Watch's cockpit though, and all he sees is 2 cars as he comes around the start-finish line. Then he sees the banking of Daytona 1, and he just sees like 3 cars. So he can see his goal is up there, and soon Brad and Kyle are going to be on the slipstream of Scott Kukas and Adam Akiponti. And now, as you see, they're coming down the back straight, and they can see the rest of the field. So they're doing a really good job right now. The 82 and the 87, and chucking the 40 because the 40 just waiting for a caution to get the lucky dog.
13 laps on green. It's coming into the 14th, and we're on board with Jean Bernier as he's pitching into the 1 and 2. He sees the J Concept car of JD Crow ahead of him, but he's unable to make a move. I mean, you see, on board with the cars, they're not sliding around a lot, but if we switched to any other camera where it's just facing in front of them, these cars are moving around a lot.
And you hear the cockpit. You go to a cockpit, all you can hear is tire squeal. And you try to avoid that when you do oval racing. Nothing you can do. And the caution is out. The caution is out. Now, what was that for?
We have cars. The 3 and 4, there's been a massive wreck in the 3 and 4.
Big one. Erasmus goes around, loses the car through 3. He goes around, he hits the apron, he's a missile. He hits the 187 and Marzov. And I think the Singh gets in as well. They're all flying, and I think the 115, the 115.
Trouble.
115 there of Elder hits the wall. Oh, the 187 went over the 44. 44 there, Troy Anderson having a car flying over him there. Oy, that's not good. They try to hold their brakes, and everybody else gets around. Those 3 are the main victims, and I'm not sure.
Oh, that is a massive collision there. That is about 5 cars there that are in exceptional damage area. I was trying to be clever, but I couldn't even English at that point, so I can't even be clever. And you just see.
No! Drew Lalonde did get hit at the end there, and that looked like it was... did not see, but yeah, Drew Lalonde did get a little bit of a tap there at the end. I think that was the 808 of Erasmus losing the car. I think he had a little... Yeah, he had no momentum. The grass just took him around, and he went backwards. Lalonde's trying to avoid, and he gets a little tap. They do have fast repairs, so you'll see Singh, Erasmus, Elder all taking a fast repair. Not what you want to be doing at lap 15 or 200, but they're still in the race, and that's all that's important. Pace car's only just coming around now, and all these guys would have had to get in or tow. Marzov actually had to tow. He was flipped, so he's got no choice. As I believe this will be... No one's pitting. Okay.
Nobody pitting from the lead pack. Is that to you, Craig? Is that a bit of an odd one, or is it usual for these cars to be not pitting at lap 15?
Well, they don't have, as far as I'm aware, they do not have tire limits. So the tires will be crying. We know that there's a 10 tire limit. I apologize. There's a 10 tire limit, so you don't want to be taking the tires. But at the end of the day, you'd like to get some fuel. Put fuel. Car's got a bit more weight at the back. A bit more weight at the back means the car's not going to be not going to be very loose. So that's one thing you want to make sure. Of course, also it is custom setups. So you can use your own setups, of course. You can make adjustments in the pits. But ideally, even though it's only been 16 laps, if it was me, I'd be driving into the pits. There's no need to be at the front right now. Granted, the back was where the accident was. Well, it was in the midfield of the accident.
Yeah, it was in midfield, yeah.
But fuel is crucial for weight, especially at this stage of the race. So I'm a little bit surprised. But if Wes Hurd doesn't go in, nobody else goes in. It's the herd mentality. Literally, oh wow. I can't believe I just did that.
You actually...
I actually can't believe I did that.
You just did it. Oh dear. Oh dear.
The herd mentality.
Not only did you just went straight through without any sense of like shame or irony, you were just like, yeah, this is the correct way of doing things.
And I just see somebody is coming into the pits. That is Kukas. He's decided, you know what, I'm gonna dive into the pits, maybe get some fuel. And who's that with him? Is that the 150? It is.
The 150 of
Facaponte, yeah.
Facaponte, yeah. He's going to be in the pits as well. So the two of them are deciding that they will pit, get some new tires.
And all they're going to do is they're going to go from 15th, 16th, and 17th to... Oh, Drew's gone. Okay, I think Drew's just doing that to get to the back of the field. Very good strategy at this stage of the race. I know that sounds weird. Why did you just drive through the pit lane and not do anything? No, try and get out to back as far as you can. And it helps him as he starts blinking. That's probably why he's gone to the back if he's blinking. But they're only going to lose a couple places at the back. Lights... the lights
are
and the
off.
Pace car? Yeah.
The pace car is coming
Single
in
file.
this lap. Yeah, go ahead.
Go on. I was going to say, single file restart. From what I understand, it is all the time. I think any cars not on the lead lap who don't get a lucky dog do start on the inside line as the old style. I got to confirm that. I'm not entirely sure. I got to check that, but single file restarts is what you need to know, Rob. So we're not going to see that massive pack racing. Sorry, we're not going to see a pack restart. It's just going to everybody just hold on as good as they can. Sorry, Rob.
I think for these older cars, I think that would be better because,
it's the way it was it's the way it was in the old days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The way it were into old days, as the pace car comes off. Wes Hunt holding them in, and off he goes. Like a procession going through. The green flag is waving, and they're off again. Wes Hunt holding Sean B. Brown behind him as he's looking on the inside, and Mark Day's looking on the inside of him. Everybody's sort of concertinaing towards the bottom there. The leader's trying to hold the middle, and essentially the 41 looking at to the left of the 20, who was looking on the left of the 12, and everybody's sort of wanting to see, oh, can I get on the inside? Oh, I like this. Get me on the inside. I'm on the inside. Please. But all of them are running, or all of the lead pack anyway, are running older tires, and that is Jack Weddle going on the outside, as that is John Bernay going on the inside, I think. The correction, that is the opposite way around. That is Weddle going on the inside of Bronny, who's actually under threat from Sam Watley, coming on the inside of 2 and 1. And he actually rejoins just in time to save his position of 7th. Did not want to get a second position lost as they come past the 1-2 into the 3-4. Get that in a rhyme book and sell it. The 1-2 into the 3-4. You just see.
That isn't a rhyme book.
It isn't. It isn't a rhyme book. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I'm about to be copyright striked for impressioning a rhyme book.
I don't know, but it's a classic old rhyme from the 80s. Anyway, one of those things I wanted to point out on that start, because of the fact they're still getting up to speed, some of these guys may be a little bit cautious and may still go for their normal line, and forgetting that they can go a little bit more faster through these corners, because by the time they hit NASCAR 1, they've only just gone into 3rd gear instead of getting into 4th. You know, now they're into 4th gear. They're going and going. Sean Brown's in the. I gotta look at cockpit. Sean Brown. Really curious to see how much he's lifting. Yeah, he's right at the back of that Sim Life car of Wes Hurd, the 012, and he's just there. He gets there to the end of the back straight, and he's got Hurd, and he realizes that he could force Hurd up, but no, let's just keep it calm. And he's just there, lifting off the throttle. One of the things in pack racing, you'll either see guys lift or you'll see guys drag the brake. Different, of course. Well, if you lift, you're saving fuel. You drag the brake, that throttle is always on. So you're just going to be careful. Two different types of styles, and of course, with stock cars, there are no brake lights. So if you drag the brake, you just got to make sure the guy behind's aware. So as these guys just continue to bunch up, and you can see the gap that Hurd, Brown, and Day's got. This is what you'd be seeing a lot of it. Of Brown getting that dirty air, sliding around. It really feels like it's sliding, like Rob was saying. It's a real tough situation to go around these corners, to just hold on, see what you can do. And then, of course, some of them, like you see, Brown wants to go to the line as much as he can. That's the standard mentality. Hurd is just struggling, and he just misses it. It's not an apex per se, but you want it. The fastest way around the track is the shortest way around the track. So Brown trying to do as much as he can. But of course, the key thing is, we're lap 22 of 200. No need to go aggressive right now. Unless Hurd makes a mistake, Brown will just sit back here with Mark Day. Boomsman's behind them. Crow's behind them. Crow can get a little bit closer. Doesn't need to be closer, though. He's happy where he is, and he's got Weddle right behind him, just waiting on. And again, it is like big pack racing. What's the biggest gap, I think, is, from Ladonti all the way to Walsh Apsey, they've all just backed off. Again, Walsh and Apsey, those guys have backed off once again and just taking it easy, waiting for the finale. I'm going to say, keep an eye out on those two, the 82 and the 87, because they're just holding back. And if we do get some more cautions near the end, at the end, they will come out and spring for action.
16 cars are in the lead pack, and then we have the rest of the guys doing their bit in 17 to 23. I think that it will be, if my maths are correct, going to be 7. Anil Singh is unfortunately stuck in the pit with, I think, quite a lot of damage, so he's not going to be able to come out around this time. He's 7 laps down, so he'll be essentially under pressure to try and get some laps back through cautions or otherwise. But I doubt many cars are able to break away in this kind of racing. I'd imagine. You tell me if I'm wrong.
With the older cars, you did get the breakaways, of course, because, you know, there's no restrictor plate. Everyone's going, you know, you can go as fast as the car can only give you, and how fast your engine, as far as aerodynamics, to give you. Nowadays, guys splitting away, it is very hard to see nowadays, very rare to see. But in this format, you will see stuff. The 44 just lets somebody go. I think that was letting Erasmus go around him. I think that was it. Yeah, 44 is leading, but you'll see this a lot. There won't be any big breakaways, but at the end of the day, we just don't know what to expect. A lot of these guys probably haven't done a lot of testing, or we haven't seen a lot of testing. 20, they're just avoiding the apron. Just got to be careful not to hit the apron as it goes around. So,
like these, I'm looking at these cars on the side. That's not normal. That's not normal. Why are they turning into, like, look at it. Like, you can see there's definitely an angle to the cars as they're turning. They're actually not like what I would expect, which would be, you know, straight on.
You mean flat? Like a little bit of
yeah. And it's so weird for me as somebody who's never done oval to see that, and it's like, these cars, what are they doing? I'm scared.
It's all right, Rob. It's all right. It's all right. It's the way it is. It's a different spring setup. You probably have different. A key thing, you have different spring rates on the left and the rights, just because of the way you're going round them, and you want to have, I think it's low spring rate on the inside to allow you to get turned into these corners, but you also want to make sure that you're not going too low, that you're going to be bottoming out or having issues. You want to keep that going. You want your camber to be a certain way. I was watching the Xfinity race last night, and granted it was a road course, but one car had no front right fender anymore after an incident after the first stage, and you could just see how much camber was on that car. And it was at Daytona. It was the road course, but they still had to do the oval, so they still had to just adjust for it, get the camber so that the tires are not going to eat up. But it all comes down to spring rate, all comes down to springs, and they can make those little adjustments as well out there. So it all comes through like that, and of course preload and other things. One thing I don't think they can do in these cars is tape. More tape means you go faster, but you heat up more. Don't think you have it with these classic cars.
Do they have tear-offs?
Which is fine. I was talking about tape as in like tape they put on the grill to make things
No, but
faster.
I mean, like, do they have tear-offs for the windscreen?
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
They will on iRacing. They will on iRacing.
Yeah, because I was just thinking to myself, that's a lot of dirt on this 88 car. We're on board with Jan Bruni, and yeah, there's a lot of dirt accumulating on the front of that thing.
Hit 343 kilometers an hour before having to lift, and he's not right on the back of Weddle. He's got Crow just pushing that back of that car, giving him a little bit of keeping that air down to be faster because he's being pushed. And he's also got some clear in front of him. Look at him now, 330 coming to the tri-oval. We'll have to lift a little bit through this tri-oval. Down a couple kilometers an hour, but 335, 340, 340, hit 342 and then decides he's got to start lifting. He starts lifting, he's a little bit less down and he just keeps going. And you can see he's really having to, if you could hear the tires, it's, yeah, it's very hard as you can hear the tires just continue to squeal. Brony then, will he look for a move? I saw a couple shufflings at the front there. Nothing to do but keeping that car as low as you can. And that is a dirty windscreen. That would drive me mad if I was in that car right now.
Lap 29 we've just crossed. And we've only had one caution so far. We are just past 15% of the way through. And on current pace, we should be good for a pit stop, I think, within the next 10 laps for anyone who's not pitted. As far as I'm aware, if I did my maths right. It's called,
so.
Raidillon TV guesswork.
Yeah. it's
patent pending. Patent pending.
Yeah. The RGS in effect right now, the Raidillon guest system. With the newer cars, with the current cars, the Cup cars, you're looking at, if you're leading your full throttle, so you're doing 38. If you're doing full throttle, you're doing about 37, 38 laps. So you can stretch it out, of course, to about 42. So yeah, we're looking at that range. We're probably in the next 10 laps. We'll be looking at pit stops. Some guys might be calling for a caution, especially these tires. Now remember, they take just one of the things that I always do when I'm in oval racing is think, do I need tires on this pit stop? Because with Cup cars, you never need them because you don't use up a lot of the tire length. But then you realise, well, the amount of time it takes to fill up the tank is the amount of time it takes to take 4 tires. So, yeah, you take your 4 tires, and look at the slide, bro! Did you see that?
I did.
The slide coming out of 4. Woo!
I will say, these are not Cup cars. They definitely are eating these tires to oblivion. I mean, the cars are just sliding around enough to make you warrant. It's like, okay, maybe yes, I do need tires. As well, I mean, they're cruising at essentially 200 miles an hour almost all the time, and then they're sliding around a lot. I mean, the tires are going to be absolutely screaming at most of the time, unless a caution's out.
One of the things I'll need to see, one of the things I'll need to do is, if we get a caution, I will have to plug into the radio, because I'm really curious to know, because when you come to oval racing, Rob, during pit stops after long runs, people like to call out their tire percentages. And I think we might get that here, and I'd just love to know if they're going to start calling out their tire percentages, what they do. The 88 of Brony's trying to go around the 26 of Weddle, take the high side. He's going to be side on there, trying to make a move. And it looks like the 313 there of Watley is going to follow high up, but no, he comes back down. But yeah, that is a move there, Brony. Jan Brony is now into top 5. He's still there with Boomsma. He's just shuffling around. Weddle can get that back if he wants, but I think he got a little bit squirrely coming out of 2. And Brony looked at it, and you can see there's only there's not many cars in this lead pack now. What are we looking at? 10, 11? 11.
We have 11, exactly. We have 11. Ian Erasmus and Troy Anderson have both broken off the rear end, as has Brad Walsh and Kyle Upsey. They're both in their little own 2 or 3 man groups. Sorry, Brad Walsh is leading a group of 5, including himself, Troy Anderson, and Ian Erasmus. There they are, look, in the background, you can see them. Just the 2 of them. They see the cars in the distance. They see the promised land ahead of them. The promised land being the pack of 11, and some absolutely great racing ahead of them as they're just trying to get around. I still can't. I can't help but still feel uneasy to the fact that these cars are, they're not level with the oval. They're still like pointing towards the embankment essentially, and I feel
these cars, yeah. So some of these cars did do left-hand turn. But you got to understand, when it came to this old time in the NASCAR, they had a different car for every type of race. Super Speedway, you've got a car with a little bit more banking and a bigger spoiler. You do road racing, it's flat. As we see Boomsma making a move for P3. P3 over Day just fit straight in there and took that position. I think Boozman just wants to keep that pace going. He may want to try and take the lead here. As I was saying, you had different types of cars for different types of things. Short track racing, you got a smaller spoiler. You also don't need that car looking like it's going to be tilted so much because you haven't got the banking. You still need a little bit tilted on some tracks. So you had different cars with different configurations of ovals or road courses, and so you would see something like this on a super speedway like Daytona. But when you went to somewhere like Bristol, you wouldn't need it so much. You go to somewhere like Miami, you wouldn't need it so much. Probably a little bit less probably a little bit less drop. Like looking like it's decided to be slanted. So that's the way it used to be. That's the way it used to be in the old days. Still get that a bit nowadays with the common cars. You have a car for short track, you have a car for super speedway, you have a car for your 1.5 milers, so or your mile on track. So you get it nowadays still, but back in those days, like you'd get guys taking photos. The Kodak racing car from the 80s and early 90s. Literally, there was a photo of him with like 5 different cars for each different type of racing.
Sorry to cut across. The car number 8, that's Stefan Wong. And he's a lapped car, and he's being lapped by the entire pack, but he'll have only 5 of escaped. He's going to try and keep on the outside. Oh my goodness gracious. I hope he's holding onto the steering wheel very tightly as he's letting the pack of 11 by. Very nicely. They're all through. Keep racing. I was about to ask, by the way, aren't the mile longs like going away and being replaced with like longer ones?
No.
What was the track? What was the NASCAR tracks that were going away then?
So Auto Club, which is at Miami, is a 1.5 miles. Very, very interesting 1.5 miles. They're turning it into a short track. But the mile long tracks, you don't see a lot of them now. The intermediate tracks, as they call them. There was this whole craze of cookie cutter 1.5 mile tracks like Kentucky, which basically was just. It's almost like, well, let's just drop an oval in here. That there was no idea, there was no thinking about what do we do. They were like, well, that works. Let's just drop it in. Literally. So you had these ovals which were just the same, no character to it, almost like a Tilka track. Hello, I went there.
Oh God, not the Tilka meme again. Oh dear.
Yeah. If Aaron was here, one of our regular viewers, he would totally be explaining better than I would. As he's an American. I'm not. I just picked it up a few years ago. I really dove into the information a few years ago. I didn't grow up with it like a lot of people did in America, which so a lot of people would have been aware of seeing races like this in the 90s and the 80s. So very good to see. Like I said, not much happening. We're starting lap 40.
Well, Simon Thorns, he's actually moving up. He started all the way at the back at 21st. He's now 7th. He actually just took over Sam Whatley. Oh, well, I'm about to curse a man. As we went wide into 1-2, chasing down Jack Weddle. Jack Weddle is the car essentially ahead of him. And all you can hear is noise. This is all I can hear in my ears. Just noise coming from these engines. Oh dear.
And then some tire squeals.
Yeah. Yeah, just exactly.
Back in these days, Rob, they never screamed for Bono. They screamed of the excitement.
They screamed for jail. For Dale. And they're racing for John.
They're racing for John. They're racing for Dale. Yeah, Dale is it's still a very popular figure. Unfortunately, this week was 20 years ago since his fatal accident at Daytona, of course, of all the places. And there was a great piece on Fox Sport about the whole thing, and it really just reminded me of Senna because in F1 change had happened because of what happened to Ratzenberg and Senna. In NASCAR, change only happened because of what happened to Dale. And the way they described it was, if Dale can die, if Superman can die, then we can die. It took Dale to lose his life for people to realize this isn't safe. And, I mean, unfortunately, in Formula 1, we've had a fatality since Senna. and then of course a fatality in Formula 2. So since Dale, and I'm going to be knocking on my my wooden, not my wooden table. No, it's not. It's NDF. My wooden chest of drawers in a minute. Since Dale's fatality, thankfully we have not had a death in the NASCAR series.
Oh, crikey. All the leaders are going in, except for Simon Thorns. Everybody's going in. I think my predictions have been correct. Wes Hunt, and that is Wes Hunt, Sean B. Brown, Brian Boomsman, Mark Day. Everybody going in for fuel. Get your fuel loads. Get them in. Get them on. Go, go, go. And that is the lead pack of 7. Oh,
here they come into the pit. I want to see what happens when it comes to the pit lane. Who's going to be taking tyres? We see some cars going up there. They're taking tyres. Some of them taking tyres. One of them's missed the pit box. Did not see who that was. One of them's missed the pit box. I'm watching right now. Who's going to be the first one out? They want to be trying to keep together as much as they can. We'll be seeing the next lot coming through. There's about a group of 5 left to go. Who's going to be coming out first? Who's the first car there? Herd gets by. There's another car taking a lot more time there. I don't know what's happened there. 3 wide coming out the pit box, though. Not exactly what you want to be seeing, but they do get back into it, and that Boomsma, Day, Brown, battling 3 wide through. Fawns is still there. Crow, Gaunt, Solomonson comes in. Fawns, Erasmus, Anderson decide we're going to stay out another lap. And unfortunately, no one's saying their tyre percentages, so I can't get a rundown of that, unfortunately. That would have really made me happy, but the locking of the brakes, though, when they were coming in was very dangerous. And as you can imagine, yeah, they've done 40 laps. They want to go. They want to go and take some tyres.
Simon Thorns by himself all the way up at the front. I mean, this man took the pit stop on lap 15 when the incident occurred. Sorry, somebody's blown up in the pits. Somebody's blown their engine.
Can't have. No one's blown.
I just saw big black plumes of smoke. Potential.
Pass.
Anyway, indeed. Now,
Fawn's in the lead, right? Fawn's in the lead. He pitted lap 15, so he can go another 15 laps if he wants. If there's a caution, that puts him in great stead. Unfortunately, he would be pitting and nobody else would be. Good position, though. Erasmus and Anderson are 3.5 seconds behind him. They're going to be working together. They might be able to catch up. Let's see the gap right here. Actually, I don't need to see the gap. Last lap was a 44.5 for Fawns. Erasmus and Anderson did 43.7s. They do have the laps filled behind them. Look at that. Right behind is just lap traffic. Just battling.
Just to show, by the way, you were very correct. Brad Walsh and Kyle Apsey, the two of them are just sort of in, coming back into their own. Lap 45 of 200. We're past the 1/5 mark right now. We're coming up to the 1/4 mark of the race gone by. As the two of them are sort of on in a league of their own. They're just doing things, They're sort of chilling. And they're just trying to see if...
I just heard Anderson's a bit worried right now. He's a bit apprehensive because he's realised that the guys that were the leaders are right behind them. Now, technically, they're on fresher tyres. And it would never say this at Daytona. They're on fresher tyres. They'll get around quicker. And they do. Herd, Brown, Day, trying to get around. They're in between. Now, technically, the cars on the lead lap don't need to give these guys the position. But with fresher tyres, they're going to be there. And Anderson lets them by. Erasmus is just going to be... just allowing them to just slot in behind the 808 there. So Anderson now slots in. So these guys now in a little bit of a group. And all of a sudden, that big gap that Vaughan had, it's closing. Gap is now 1.7. He still has the lead. But if the main guys who pitted first get right behind him, doesn't really have any advantage anymore. And he's just hoping for a caution. If he gets a caution, there are still 10 cars on the lead lap who are waiting to go for pit stops. And of course, these 10 cars were the ones that pitted during the caution. And that's what I mean. Set yourself up for a little bit of positional battles. And that's what's happening with Fawn right now. He's got a good lead. I say it's a good lead. It's only a second now. Herd, Brown, they are now catching. They're in the slipstream. What were 43.6s now for that pack that's catching the leader. Fawns is out on his own. And very shortly, I've got 3 monitors and I can just see the 12 in my right monitor, while Fawns is dead center in my middle. And in a moment, here's Herd. He's coming to the left side of my right monitor. And now he's in frame on my center monitor. Just like that, Fawns' lead has just gone down. So the question is, do you get your lap back? Or do you just stay behind?
The decision to pit early It seems to have backfired. That is Ian Erasmus. He's in the free Nelson Mandela 808 car. And he's gone on the inside onto 1 and 2. He's not gone onto side by side with Thorns yet. As we take away the timing tower to see this in full stereoscopic 3D absolute jam-packed action. As we see the other cars are trying to get around. And that's the 44 sitting in the background as well, seeing as he has a little fair slice of the pie. Or well, he's going to try and make some opportunity for the fair slice of the pie, as Thorns has only 0.4 of a second between himself and Ian Erasmus as they come around the 1 and 2. They're sliding in between the car 57 and the 808. There's another car there. Which car is that? I think it's a 41. The 41 being a Mark Day, being a good stopper between Simon Thorns. He needs to not lose first position, and he's under threat.
Mark Day comes in, and the problem is that these guys battling. If Thorns or Rasmus Anderson wants to get into the pits, look, Thorns is on the high side. He can't get down. A little bit of a slide there from, I think that was Boomsma. As Boomsma and Day go side by side, Thorns will keep that high side. I think he'll just let Day go by. We're on lap 51. Now, if the others pitted about lap 42, I would reckon Thorns and Rasmus Anderson, they've got another 4 laps of fuel left. We'll wait and see, but if Thorns has been full throttle, or a lot more throttle because he's in the lead, it's going to be tough for him. If he just lets Boomsma go, as much as he doesn't want to, if he just lets Boomsma go, those cars will unlap themselves, and then he can just relax. Doesn't have to worry, he can just set himself up for the pit stop. That's all he needs right now, but unfortunately with everyone unlapping themselves there, he might go a lap down if he's... Contact! The 30's over!
Caution is out. Oh no, that's the 808. He's got tagged in the rear by... That wasn't Thorns, sorry, that was Anderson that tagged him in the back. Oh dear, where is he?
Oh, what happened to the 808 and the 44? This was after the caution. It looked like both of them were trying to get back on the... Oh, yeah. He could not keep the speed up. 44 had too much speed. But that incident there between Boomsma... Oh, that's just a weird one.
Oh!
Just a weird one. Boomsma has to pit. That's a nasty one. I'm just going to watch it back.
We're going to watch it back. And the typical trouble. As the caution is out and the pace car is around, that is second caution on lap 51. As we can see, this is the replay we're looking at.
Watch.
We are indeed in slow motion.
I think the 51 there, the 57, sorry, of Thorns, he might have just gone down a little bit. That's what I see on my screen.
Oh!
Yeah, you can see it there. Goes down a little bit. Nowhere that Boomsma could go. A little bit confused. Was that just a miss? You know, like a... No, the car? I don't... Ooh. Now, interesting. I reckon that's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I would have thought they just came together.
Go, yeah. Let's look at Rasmus's cockpit, because you can see the 57's got its wheel straight, but the wheel he is pointing there. The 30 is also going up. They're both coming into each other. There's a meeting of the minds there between the two of them. It's just one of those things, but you've got to think to yourself, could it have been done better? But you say that with any incident. What can be done better?
On board with Brian Boomsma for that incident. As you can see, the two of them were exceptionally close to each other coming into the 3 and 4. Just see, he sees the 41 ahead of him. If we look backwards on the right rear, just as how close they were. I mean, look at it. Oh, yeah. And around they go. That was the catalyst. And oh my goodness gracious, it's so... Oh my god. I was not expecting it to actually... Over. Yeah, I was not expecting it to actually feel somewhat realistic. But that actually... I was actually kind of jumping out of my seat there when that happened.
I couldn't believe it was happening. But yeah, he got turned over, he got turned around, and he got thrown over. But of course, they're going to have cars here because some cars pitted. In fact, everybody pitted. Ian Erasmus, the only car... Well, no, I think because my... No, he definitely pitted.
What's wrong,
Not sure what's
wrong with
there.
his car? He's going
I
at
have
70.
no idea.
He's just letting the field through.
Oh, speeding penalty. Speeding penalty. Yes, no, I was listening to it on the radio. Speeding penalty. He would have had an end of line penalty for that. So that's unfortunate.
Wes Hunt will be your new race leader. As pace car is going around, everybody's sort of shuffling themselves. The timing tower is going crazy. That's per usual. But they're going to be shuffling themselves around. We are a quarter of the way through. How long have we been going for?
Well, we've done 44 minutes here. Lap 54 of 200 on our second caution. Who's going to be leading the fray here? The car at the front is Mike Gaunt. Everything will be changed. The light's off, though.
Wes Hunt is... He's actually not on the pace car. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish cars in between himself. Yeah, 7 cars in between himself and the actual pace car. I think that is the lapped vehicles that we're seeing right now. So that is... No, that's not Stefan Wong. Nor is it Drew Lalonde. I think they're coming back through to recatch.
So the lap car, any lap cars are on the inside. Everybody else will be on the outside. That is the old 87 rules.
Car number 387. I think that is the 387.
187.
The 187.
Sorry.
The 187 being Mason Marsdorf. Mike Gaunt, by the way, he'll be actually right behind the pace car as the car number 5, the car number 313, the car 88, and the car number 40, as well as Jack Weddle. Jack Weddle's actually right behind Wes Hunt.
Oh, I see what it is. I see what it is. These are all the lap cars, aren't they? Mike Gaunt will take the lead, but they're the lap cars. Wes Hunt will lead them afraid. I see what's going on there. I was really confused what was going on there. I really was confused. I couldn't work it out. But the leaders the leaders behind the lap cars. Very scary. Very scary.
And off they go. Off they go.
See.
Back to green racing, and that is your leader, Wes Hurd Jr. I'd say he is pretty concerned right about now because he's in the pack of absolutely everybody and everything, and he sees cars ahead of him, and I'd say he's about ready to brick it because he's just like, please don't have any other cars. I just want to race.
Well, he's got to be careful. Jack Weddle has a drive-through penalty and will be serving it this lap, so he wants to make sure he doesn't follow all the way. Brown's got to run there on Facaponte, and he makes that move, and it almost looks like Day's going to make that move on the 150 as well. Weddle will be coming in, and now the leaders are coming up to the lap cars. Well, they've always been with the lap cars, but they try to give themselves a little bit of a buffer zone. They'll get past Drew Lalonde right away as the leaders go by, and just look at it. And then they got 2 wide in front of them. It's just going to be a little bit scary. Some of these guys might be able to just try and make a breakaway. You've got 3 guys up in front on their own. JD Crow and Mike Gaunt. All, same teammates, and Mason Marsdorf as well, teammates. So they could make a run together and see what they can do, but Hurd at the moment battling with, is that the 20 there? No, that's the 88 of Brony, letting the 88 go, of Brony going by. He does have some damage there, noticeable damage to the front. It's a little bit chaotic at the moment with the lap cars right in front of everybody. How long until Hurd gets by them is the question. And yeah, I would not want to be in front there because one mistake by these lap cars and we could see the leaders taken out. Hold me, Rob, I'm scared. That's what I'm saying.
I would be scared too. I mean, at least we're not driving the cars. We get to, just sit back and be like, hey, this is a racing. With these guys, it's ooh, yikes.
It is, ooh, yikes. We're a quarter of the way through, and of course, remember, we are racing for John today. And one of the messages I wanted to read out, Rob, special message, Mark Stevenson. You may have remembered him. He joined us for the first major series race of the year, the Daytona 2.4. It was nice having him in the booth with us. He left a really nice message. He was saying he got a message from John a few years ago, which basically read, "Hi Mark, if you've got decent organization skills, I'd jump in now and get a team together. You could form a pretty competitive Sportsman team. That was the first message he received from John, says Mark. He wears all the hats, serious right-hand man, team owner, and driver consigliere. I hadn't reached out to him. And it was not in his team or his best interest to reach out to me and from a competition perspective. He did it anyway. That is the type of guy John was. He wanted to do everyone well, to have a chance to compete and to enjoy racing. That was the seed that formed Forge RT that Mark Severson has. It began an incredible year that produced 2 championships for Forge. It began a number of friendships I will hold dear for the rest of my life. I owe that to John, says Mark. Mark goes on to say, you're a great man and you will forever be remembered as the man who reached out his hand to a newbie when he didn't have to. Thank you, John. And again, that's the thing. He, like I said at the start of the race, he started the whole idea of teams and this whole community aspect that the major series has, and it continues this day. And you can see today, you've got guys with the same team liveries working together in this field and stuff like that. In the wall, sorry, it's the 162. The 162's in the wall round the back. No, was that the 160? It was the 187. Sorry, it's the 187, not the 162. That's Marzov coming out of turn 4. Now, did he just lose it? I'm just trying to see. The car never turned. And he went slam into the wall.
Let's have a look. He was wheeling it. He was wheeling it. And, oh dear. Oh. Yeah, oh dear. That's a wall. I mean, it put him right for the pit. So he was in a great spot, but definitely not what he was expecting.
Not where he wants to be, yeah.
Not what he was
Heavy
expecting.
damage. So, now the leaders are all caught up in with the lap cars, and you've got Gaunt, Watley, Kluge, all battling for 13, 14, and 15. JD Crow with them as well, who's in 12th position. But at the front is Wes Hurd. He's got Sean Brown literally beside him as they continue to go on. So the leaders, the front 2, finally get past the first of these lapped cars. But it's still a challenge. Mark Day's got to get by them. He's just trying to hold on to see if he can just just stay with the slipstream and just hope for the best. The lap cars, of course, will let him by, but he just has to worry. And that, oh man, that 313 of Watley was just sliding through 3 and 4. It wasn't nice to watch. Well, it is nice to watch because he keeps it, but if you were driving and you saw the back of that car going sideways almost, you'd be grabbing hold of the steering wheel pretty tight right now, I think.
Just to say, Wes Hurd has actually cleared. He's in open air right now, but he does have the car 20 of Sean Brown right behind him. And Mark Day is definitely no slouch either, but he has 1 lapped car in between himself and the car number 20. So he'll be looking to see if he can get past relatively soon, as he wants to get to the 2 guys ahead of him that you see, the 0112 and the car 20, as they are battling now for the lead coming onto lap 62.
And you can see the gap, by the way, because the top 3 are all separated by, what, half a second.
Yeah, just about.
Adam Vaccaponte is nowhere to be found. He's at the back of that lap car group, but he's right off the tail. He's got no help. He's trying to catch up and get pulled in with that slipstream, not helping him. Then 4 seconds behind him is 5th and 6th. The number 3 of Andy Banfield, the number 44 of Troy Anderson, and then the 57 of Simon Thorns. All there, Stuart Elder just trying to hold on there. So very split out right now. That incident, while people still had to do pit stops, has just changed the complexion of this race. And all of a sudden, this whole thing of, hey, is there any big gaps and breakaways? Here's your breakaway with Hurd and Brown.
I just knew. Sorry, it's all you can hear is as they come by. Wes Hurd leading. Well, he's leading a surrogate pack of lead cars and lapped cars. That's the car 21 in the middle. The car 21 is currently in 12th. That's Mike Gunn. So you can just see. So we go from 1st, 2nd, 12th, and then I think that is Watley in the middle. The car 313. It is Watley in the middle with car 313. Then we have the 40. Brandon Klug in 14th, but he's in a lead pack. But there's not much he can do. There's not much he can do because there's two lead cars ahead of him, as well as Mark Day, who is actually going on the inside. He's actually gotten past Fittipaldi or Passaponti is not anywhere near him. He's actually getting past the 2 lapped cars of the 313 and the 40, who are themselves battling at the moment. Brandon Klug, in the middle of the lead pack, has actually gained himself a position, so he's actually pushing forward. He might actually try and push all the way forward and try and unlap himself when he gets to that stage. Or he might try for the lucky dog if there's going to be another caution. Lap 65 and 200, there's still plenty of time for that to happen. It's been 2 cautions so far, so it can happen, but they have actually been pretty good at keeping good, clean racing so far. Unfortunately, it's just been a few issues here and there that have caused it. And that is side-by-side action between... Sorry, correction, not side-by-side action. That's the car 26 being lapped again. Jack Weddle. Unfortunately, he's out of sync. And he unfortunately has to let the crowd by. The big crowd coming through, stomping the way through. As the car 012 leans to car 20, who then leans to car 41. But then there's a big gap of... second, 13th, and 14th, all the way in there. They're sort of intermingled. It's like salt and pepper, I'd imagine.
Salt and pepper. Well, unfortunately, Weddle goes down another lap. He is now 3 laps down. It's looking like there won't be a medal for Weddle, unfortunately, today.
But
he continues to go. 11 cars on the lead lap still. By the way, how's our guys that I've been saying keep your eyes out for? How's Walsh and Apsby? They're sitting 9th and 10th at the moment. They're just having some fun at the back. They're waiting for the right situation. They're 6 seconds off Elder Thorns Anderson. They're happy. They're in the right position right now. But to see so many cars a lap down at this early in the race is quite, it's a surprise to me. If I'm brutally honest, I was not expecting it. We're down to 11 on the lead lap. We're seeing some big gaps, of course. I've also got to feel that normally you worry when you're racing around lap traffic and lap traffic's in with the main pack. Not being an issue right now. Everyone's just got that same goal: get to the end. That's all they want to do right now. And I think Brown realizes that he's not going to make a move on Hurd. Hurd probably led the most laps of the day, as he continues to just add another lap to his his resume. Sorry. But I just thought for a moment Brown was going to look there for a moment, look at the inside, decide against it. So we'll keep an eye on the lead battles, of course, we'll keep an eye on that. But also when you've got 12, 13, 14, and 15 battling in a group themselves with them, of Kluge, Gordon, Solomonson, Watley, you've got to keep an eye on that as well.
You can just see we're looking on Wes Hurd Jr.'s car, looking backwards towards Sean Brown's Chevrolet. It's a Ford Thunderbird versus a Chevy, which I erroneously called a Cosette at one stage in my life, but we'll gloss over that.
No, hang on, no, we're not going to gloss over it. Come on.
I wanted to call it a Cosette because that sounded nice, and it was Cosworth. But that was me in an erroneous part of my life.
You're not London. You're not from London. You're not from England. You can't call it a Cosy. You're Irish. You have to call it a Cosworth. Only we can call it a Cosy.
No, you see, now you're saying Cosy. It's Cose. Cose.
Moving on.
Oh, sorry. Did I just hear somebody strike the wall? Indeed, I did.
It is. There's a car off. There's a car spun. There's going to be more incidents.
Caution.
The 88. The 88 hits the wall. The 88 there hits the wall. Did he get a little bit tapped there from the 50, or did he lose it himself? Trying to see right here. Oh, he comes down on him. Comes down. The 88 loses it, and the 50 gets tapped from the 50. The 88 is the 88 is Brony. Is Brony getting hit from Facaponte there? And he goes up to the wall. He hits the wall. Did he collect the 44? The 44 just avoids it. And then is that the 10 avoiding it? I don't think the 10 avoided. He did. And no! And then Stefan Wong hits. Hold your brakes, please, boys. Hold your brakes.
Just to see now, we're on looking at Jan Bruni. As he's sliding quite a lot. He loses control of the car. I know. Yeah, He lost control
Hits
of the
the
car,
wall,
started sliding
and
and
then-
hit the wall. Oh!
Then you think to yourself, he's here. Hold your brakes. Hold your brakes. No.
just to see, I just want to see that from a particular angle that we have. If I can get it. Come on. Come on. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on. And here we go. Here's the start of the slide. 150 is trying to avoid it. Taps him though. Continues to send him on his way. And then just somehow is able to correct it. And then the wall greets him. The wall greets him. And he's in the wall. And he continues to slide. And as we see, a very unfortunate car coming onto the apron. Oh dear.
So, everybody's in. Mike Gaunt gets the lucky dog. He will go have the wave around. But Kluge, Solomonson, Weddle, Crow, all of them deciding we're going to go for the wave around. We have the fuel. Brony also. Kukas is out there, so anyone behind, that means Erasmus, Singh, Boozman, Wong, they're not going to get a wave around. They're not going to get a wave around unless Kukas decides that he's going to pit. He's the only one of the top 10 of the guys on the lead lap, who has gone and stayed out. Kukas will take the lead of this race. And like I said, everybody from 19th down, they're going to struggle. They're going to go. They're not going to get their lap back. You're going to see some of these cars getting their lap back, which is crucial. I think we'll be back to 17 cars on the lead lap if they get the wave around. We'll wait and see. It's one of these things. I don't do a lot of 87s anymore, unfortunately. With the off season, I don't do a lot of oval racing in the off season. So, 87 is not one of my fortes. So it's got the classic rules, and I might be 32, but I don't know the classic rules. I do remember, Rob, that this is true. In the old days, and they had to change it, and this is what to this format. There was a race to get your lap back. Basically, if there was a caution, the guys who are laps down could race to get to the pace car before the lead car, and they could get their lap back. Unfortunately, there's one small issue with that, because if you've got a car in the middle of the start-finish stretch that cannot move because it's done 720-degree spin, and he can't move, and you've got guys racing still. Do you see where I'm getting here? Safety.
It sounds very not safe.
Yeah. And actually, that incident I described was the reason they got rid of it, because you're racing on a small track. I think it was in Texas, I think. You're racing on a track. You've got a car with the driver still in, sideways, can't move, and you've got a lap car battling with the leader to get to the start-finish line before the leader, so he can get his lap back. Yeah, don't sound right. So, Sean Brown, by the way, Kukas went into the pits. Sean Brown will be the lead car. He managed to get out in the pits ahead of Wes Hurd. We'll wait to see the other cars as they will, in theory, get their lap back. And there'll be a lot. No, actually, the pace lights off. The pace car lights are off. So, Kluge will lead everybody with Weddle beside him, Solomonson and Brown as well, but they are lapped down. So they'll be battling to get the lucky dog, while everybody else behind them will be battling for the lead, as we do see a string of 2 wide this time.
2 wide? What?
Yeah, because look at all those lap cars on the inside line. Pace car in. Brown will lead them away. Well, I say he leads them away. He's leads the leaders away. He's got 4 cars that are lapped down in front of him, and he cannot get on the accelerator right away. He's behind the 44, he's got 44, the 46 of Crow. Almost having a little bit of a moment around the outside of another car. Hurd will follow him as Weddle and Brony and now go another lap. As these guys now, look at it. Look, there's nowhere for him to go. That 5 for Solomonson's got a lot of damage. Get by Solomonson. He's now seeing Crow and Kluge. They're battling themselves for what would be the transfer spot, the lucky dog spot. Crow gets it, but at the same time, Brown slides in. He's got the fresher tyres, unlike Crow and Kluge. He easily takes that. He's got Hurd to take a line from our road racing, Rob. He's bookmarked Hurd with Kluge. Brown gets ahead of the lap cars. He takes back the lead of the pack as he continues to lead the race as we start lap 75 of 200.
Just seeing car number 20 of Sean Brown. He's now ahead of the pack. This is exactly what he wants. He does not want Wes Hurd to be able to have anything, and Wes Hurd's still got one more car to pass. He's on the inside on the car 40. And the car 40 is trying to keep ahead, I think, of Crow, the car number 46 now, as they come around the 3 and 4 onto the straightaway. Well, it has a little bit of a bend to it, but it's about as straight as
it's called a tri-oval, Rob.
What? Oh, sorry, that is a car striking the wall on the tri-oval. It's across the start-finish line. It's a Coors car, and that is, I think
that's the 88. It's the 88 of Brony hit the wall. The 57 of Fawns having to do some evasive maneuvers there, but does get by. Fawns loses a little bit of time to Mark Day, who's P5, battling on, continues. Meanwhile, that battle for the transfer spot, Crow's got that position at the moment. Kluge and Solomonson, they want a little bit of a battle. Those two are fighting side by side. They come through turn 4 onto the tri-oval. They're not battling, well, they're battling for position, but crucially, they need to be battling them, well, like I said, for the transfer spot, the lucky dog position. Crow continues to lead. He's in 44 on the screen, but he is running the 46 today. Custom numbers. And we have a caution. And I think that's the car, the 808. That's the 57 went around. 57 lost into the 808 as Erasmus. So the 57 hit. That's Fawns. Had a little bit of a loose moment. He goes onto the apron. He loses the car. And Erasmus hits the wall, hits him, goes into the wall. He does a spin. I think it's just those two that had it today. Oh no, the 187 collected the 808. The 187 collected the 808, and the 808 goes flying over the car. So Rasmus is done for the day. He had parked the car. Massive damage.
Oh! Yeah, there's trouble in these neck of the woods as the 808. I think he's actually the first official retiree. He is, because Anil Singh, he's actually still racing, but the 808 car unfortunately has parked the car. So now we have 23 drivers racing today. As who else was involved in that?
The 187, I think Marzov hit them as well. It all started as well. The 57 of Simon Fawns got caught in it as well. He actually started the whole thing. He lost the car by hitting the apron. So yeah, it's the 87, the 57, sorry, that had the issue and started it. He does have damage to the rear of that car. Might come in for repairs. I think he's still got a fast repair. Still got well, technically the spare car. Curious to see who comes into the pit, if anybody right now. Lucky Dog, the transfer spot, I believe, went to JD Crow, or was it Apsby? It was Apsby, sorry. No, it wasn't Apsby. No, it was JD Crow.
To come around, there's several cars going into the pits, looking to see if they can get tires and fuel. And a Lucky Dog going wide. I think that's the 40.
Crow. Yeah,
it is 46.
Crow.
46 got the Lucky Dog. Let the 46 car by. Yeah, he's got the Lucky Dog.
The 187, the 5, the 21, the 44. And the 57 in the pits. Also, the 87, the 82 just turn into the pits as well, as does Troy Anderson. No, it's not Troy Anderson, sorry. Jack Weddle as well goes into the pits. They'll be at the back of the field, but like I said, the 87, the 82, it's this mind game. They're just waiting, aren't they? We're coming up to lap 80 of 200, and we've not seen them do anything. And they're just sitting back, still in the top 15, still on the lead lap, pushing when they have to. Don't have to be too crazy. If it's me, I think they're waiting. They're waiting to go. They're actually waiting for a big gap so they can finally go. And yeah, here you go. Atspy's just crawling. He's crawling. He's waiting. He's waiting. He goes. He stops. He waits for the 82. He waits for Brad Walsh to come back. But he has to go. He has to go. Brad, come back! Brad, come back!
Come
Brad's
back!
nowhere to be found.
Come back!
Brad's nowhere to be found right now. Where is Brad? Has anybody found Brad? He's still in the pit. He's still at the front of that box. The 44 goes by him now. Sorry, JD Crow goes by him, sorry. And now he finally leaves. Now he finally leaves. And oh my god, he almost comes together with the 150! Coming out the pit lane, he almost comes together with Facaponte, but gets by. Close moment there between the two of them.
And as we can see, pace car with, that is the car 20 of Sean Brown, just doing his bit to push this pace car along. Pace car will come in this time by as he turns his lights off. Everybody else having to file back in.
Getting the hang of it, Rob? You getting the hang of it?
Just about. Just about.
Just about. So, we wait. There's going to be Boomsma down the inside, who's a lap car. Kluge as well, a lap car down the bottom. Lucky Dog, Kukas is in the pits as well. He'll be coming out as well. Brandon Kluge in the 40 is the Lucky Dog. He's got Boomsma. Boomsma is 2 laps down, so he will not get the Lucky Dog. So Kluge sitting in that position. He does have Watley a few cars behind him. But all eyes on the 40 if there is another caution. Because the lead, the Lucky Dog is the situation. The lead is pitted, by the way. The top 5 pitted, lap 71. Everybody else pitted, lap 78, 79. So there's no issue with tyres or no issue with fuel. Well, the fuel's 6 laps. It's not 7 laps. It's not a big deal. It's down to about normal. In normal racing. So waiting for the pace car to come in. We're about to start lap 81 of 200. Another 120 laps to go. We've only just started, really. We're not even halfway, Rob. We've only just started. Pace car goes in. Boomsman's going to lead them off.
And as Booms... No, not... Oh, is it Boomsman? No, that's the car 20.
Brown and Boomsman leads them off. Sorry. I always forget this because of the lap car rule, but Brown leads them off with Hurd right behind him, looking to see what he can do. Hurd not had exactly a very good start there, but he doesn't let Mark Day have a look there. Almost had enough room to go 3 wide. The 40 Kluge tapping almost there. The 41 of Mark Day, but no harm, no foul. Boomsman's going to do what he can to stay with the leaders, just get a little bit of slipstream. If he can get by them, he might get a lap back, but he is 2 laps down. Kluge doesn't have to do anything right now. He is there on the inside behind the 30, who is there with, as the transfer spot, the Lucky Dog. Continue to watch here as everybody's going around. Another lap, another number ticked off. They continue the Daytona 500.
Lap 81 of 200. Squelching by. 3 cautions so far. And we are not even halfway through. I think the estimate will be about, if memory serves, about another hour and a half at current pace. So you strap yourselves in. This gonna be a good one, as they come around to complete lap 82. The laps, they do go by quickly, but there's so many of them that you have to squelching. Yes, squelching by. These cars. These cars. The tires do scream a lot.
A lot? Wow. Yeah.
That's where I got squelching.
Out. Yeah, they're crying out. Is the best words to say. Looks like that is the 30. Boomsman trying to get around Sean Brown. Okay, that's interesting. Or is Boomsman just letting him by? Of course, Boomsman trying to get a lap back. So he'd be only a lap down, but he's not having it at the moment. Boomsma just letting Hurd by.
Oh, look, crikey, that's a wall. Got a car in the wall. Caution out again.
That's Jan Bruni, but the 313 in front of him loses it as well. I think that was Sam Watley. Sam Watley loses the car and just comes up, pushes the 88. He avoids the wall, but they both come together, and then that just starts a collision, and the 88 goes flying. 88 just goes flying. Bruni goes flying for Solomonson. Did Solomonson drive over him? He did.
Whoa.
Solomonson drives over. Oh, wow. Brody in the catch fencing. That is not what you want to see. Oh, my days. And he gets hit again. Oh, at the end, he gets hit. Excuse me? While he's in the catch fencing, he gets hit from Weddle. Oh, that is not what you want to see from Weddle. You can see the car in the catch fencing, and he can't stop the car, and he just goes into the wall and hits Weddle. And hits Bruni. Oh wow, that was not a good one.
Genie Macaroni. Yeah, that did look like it hurt quite a lot. If I'm gonna be honest.
I'm just saying, that was the real life. If that was real life, I'd be calling for an ambulance right away. That was not, you know how Fox, they had a little bit of laughter when the big crashes happened when it came to the eNASCAR Invitational. Yeah, you can have a laugh and say, "Oh, look at the physics!" But no, literally, Solomonson drove under him and just flew him in the air, and that would have happened in the real world. And that was just a scary moment there. I would not want to know what it was like in Bruni's cockpit. I'm gonna look back for my own, for my own pain, but that was not nice.
Yeah, it did. It did definitely look absolutely catastrophic in terms of.
But the thing, what the worst thing was once again the guy who starts the incident, because it's the 313 who loses it. It's the guy who hits him that causes the big one. And oh, that is bad. He's fighting. Oh wow. Oh, that cockpit. Oh.
Was he fighting?
He doesn't even know. He is battling. He's sideways. He then realizes he might be okay, but then gets hit from the 313. And as he finally straightens the car, he doesn't have time. He doesn't realize. He doesn't even see in his rear mirror that there's a car about to, and he just goes flying. Oh, that was scary.
It's one of the hardships of Daytona, I think. Just seeing something like this happen, where it's just like you're absolutely flying high, and then very suddenly you're actually doing that, which is not something you're meant to be doing, and you're in the catch fence.
Oh, that was scary. That was scary. It was just the fact that I'm watching the cockpit, and like I said, he's still battling, and then out of nowhere the car goes flying. And it's not even like an impact's made it, a car's just gone underneath him. And it was just the cleanest of air, and I would not want to know what was going on there.
Lap 85, fourth caution of the day. And the pace car will be off this time by, and the car 20 lines up beside the car 30, because the car 30 is Brian Boomsma, who's 2 laps down. So it'll all be about how they perform this restart. They'll be hoping, I think the leaders will be hoping at least that they'll be able to break away quite quickly. The 012 is sat behind the car 20. Sean Brown sitting pretty on the outside. I think he'd want to get away from the 41 as quickly as possible. Sorry, the correction, the car 30 as quickly as possible. So we can have the inside line coming into the 1-2, and then have Wes Hurd deal with the fact that he has to sit behind a car 30 for a corner or two. But it's all to play for, as the 187 is on the inside, the 187 being Mason Marzolf. And the car 5 sitting on the inside of the car 41. 41 being Mark Day in 3rd position. So Mark Day will definitely have his work cut out for him. He'll have to cut his teeth on 3-lapped cars before he can even think about cutting his teeth on 2nd and 1st for position. As they come around for the 5th start. Let's hear it from you, Craig.
Let's hear it. We'll wait to see what they go. By the way, Cluj got the lucky dog, and Solomonson is now in that battle with Watley for the transfer spot. But we're watching the lead. Brown will take them away. Hurd behind. And we've got also Day following in behind Gaunt and Thomas. We'll see what they can do. Facaponte as well is behind them. The top line is the line you want to be watching. And Hurd realizes that. He gets in front of Boomsma. There is nowhere for Hurd to go. Day could just slot in right here, but no. Decides the best thing to do is to just lift off. Let Hurd stay there. These four, well, technically these four, because Boomsma's just going on. Oh, no! Brown goes flipping over. Boomsma just goes in a big wreck and he collects the 26. And that is a big one as Brown, the leader, is taken out of the race. No.
Just to replay. To replay, that was Brown. And on the inside, we can see here, this is the cataclysmic moment. We'll take away the driver info. The car 30 coming on the inside, and the car 20 was coming on the inside as well. And he unfortunately had nowhere else to go. That was the apron, and around he went. And he flipped end over end.
He had the rollover, yeah.
Oh, crikey, he came back onto the track. I mean, once that happened, I don't think he was able to go anywhere. That's going to be the 5th yellow flag of the day.
I don't even know who's to blame. I think, with no offense, it's a weird one, actually. I think they're both... You know how I always say it takes two to tango for racing? So Brown has the lead. Boomsma's not racing him. Brown doesn't go to the bottom in time, and Boomsma goes down. And I don't think Boomsma realised he had a nose. It was probably a bit too late to get that call, as it was for Brown. Brown starts turning down, doesn't realise it himself. So it's a little bit on both of them, because with no offense to Boomsma, he is battling to try and get that lap back. But did he need to right away? Do you see what I mean? So that's going to be the issue. Fawns is the only one. The top three still have not pitted. Hurd and Day pitted lap 71. Gaunt pitted lap 78. Then on the pit. Everybody else is pitting. I think Brown might take that quick repair. I don't know. Something just tells me he might take that quick repair.
I think he'd want to have just the instantaneous, and off he goes.
I've missed that noise.
Yeah, just the instantaneous.
I will say though, in terms of cleanness, that was the best that was the best blowover you're gonna get in these cars.
What wait, but he's got damage. What do you mean?
No, that is what those flips are called.
Yeah,
called a blowover.
Yeah, I know it's a blowover, but how is it the best?
Because it was crystal clear. With the others, like, it was only because they hit the wall and got spun around. He got turned. Purpose, you know. He got turned. And as he was just going backwards, the wind just goes, whoa, and throws him over. It was picture perfect. If iRacing needed a video to show the blowovers for when they did it, you could have taken that. It was so good.
Yeah. It's
right, so
it's a bit of a yikes, because, you know, I was expecting to see Wes Hurd Jr. He's had a few issues himself, but he's actually now caught back up to the lead. Mark Day's in second. Mike Gaunt, out of everybody, he was in 12th. He's now 3rd. What?
Yeah, a lot of people did pit. Like I said, the top three have not pitted. Solomonson, by the way, gets the lucky dog. So there's now only one car that is one lap down, and it's Watley. So that's going to be interesting, because Watley will be the only car that can take a lucky dog at the moment, unless he gets an incident and is caught in the wreck, and then it'll be Boomsma. So we might get back to a bit of parity after, you know, all these laps and positions going by. And hey, look who's in the pit again, Rob. It's the 82 and the 87, just doing their own little thing once again. Look at them. Aren't they cute together? The epitome of team racing.
Just the two of them be together, but they're not. Are they in position? No. where is the second one? I know Mike Godson. Excuse me, Mike Godson third. Where's his teammate?
Oh, he doesn't have a teammate, does he? He's not got a teammate that can help him.
I mean,
Marsov's gonna. Well, he's
got. It's just like the car right behind him was the car 380. Oh no, 187. Mason, he's right behind him on track. He's 18 positions off.
And I'm looking around. The rest of his next teammate is Solomonson, who just got the lucky dog. So, yeah, and everybody else I think is unfortunately down and out for the count. So, Hurd will lead them off. Boomsma will have the front of the lap cars once again. And it'll be Mark Day and then... who is it? Yeah, sorry. Mike Gaunt as well. Day's made up 13 places. Gaunt and Anderson's made up 16 places. Fawns and Facaponte have made up 15 and 16 respectively. They're all in a big single file. And off they go. And I think they're just keeping it calm after that incident as they just started last time. Hurd will lead the charge. Boomsma is there on the inside. He might actually get by Hurd. He does. And Day looks at this and thinks to himself, right, I've got the inside. I'm going to take the lead. Mark Day takes the lead of the Daytona 500. And Hurd may slip down, and he does. He slips down to P3 as Gaunt jumps up into P2.
Mark Day slotting in to first position behind the car number 30. Car number 30, of course, going to be lapped here in a second. If I'm thinking correctly, Mike Gaunt's going to try and threaten for the lead, but he's under threat himself from Wes Hurd Jr. coming on the inside. His lap 91 just ticks by. We're seeing all these laps just ticking by as that is a car going wide on the apron. Ooh, going very wide on the apron. He's letting the car on the inside go by. Wes Hurd sees his nemesis and he sees them right about there. Car 21 now being passed on the inside. Car 012 going in on the inside. Makes that look easy. Apron. Mike Gaunt going up onto the upper line. Let him by. Probably going to sit behind him and see if he can clap back with a second rebound. Car number 41 still stuck behind the car number 30. That's Mark Day and Wes Hurd Jr. battling, coming into the 1-2 on lap 92. Crikey, looking at the inside. And he slips all the way around to the outside. The cars are actually drifting right about now as they're looking to see if they can get any position. Does anybody want first place? Yes, they absolutely do. That's Wes Hurd on the inside coming into the 3 and 4. Mark Day has to yield as he has on the outside, and that's car 21 of Mike Gaunt looking on the inside, and he's going to get it if he's not too careful. And as you can see,
easy.
just one lap, 2 positions, just gone.
They're trading positions at the front and they have a comfortable lead. Anderson still trying to get up to them and is unable to, as these three are just pulling away. It is a breakaway group in the peloton, as I go back to that reference, and every time there's been a restart they just blow the field away. Wes Hurd, the driver I'm actually familiar with, having some close battles with him before in the oval scene. Mike Gaunt and Mark Day. I think I've seen Mark Day a few times. Just a little bit out of my split range, but they're battling hard. There's a car in the wall. We've got a big one. We got a big one in the back there. I think that is the 313. He's gone off. 313 went off. That's Watley. He was the transfer spot, and he hits in. And I think the 150 of Facaponte as well gets hit. Do they get collected afterwards? They do. Facaponte just had a moment as well afterwards, and that is chaos at the back there.
Go ahead and replay
That's the 44.
It is the
44.
Yeah, it is the 44 and the 150 as well, all involved in that situation. Let's have a look back at this. Adam Facaponte, it was up on his way before, and that is the 343 going loose. We just saw it there, and oh dear, oh crikey.
And like I said, but the thing was, Watley had the transfer spot. It goes back to Kluge. Kluge gets the transfer spot. And also a key thing, Boomsma got his lap back because he stayed ahead of Hurd. So he's going to be a lap. He will be the lucky dog once Kluge takes the wave around. So he's a lucky boy. But again, the top 3 have not pitted for 15 laps. Will they... Well, more than 15 laps now. It's 20 laps. Curious to see what they do. Does Hurd, Gaunt, Day, and Anderson, do they come in? In comes Wes, in comes Mark, in comes Mike. All 3 of them come in. I think that somebody else got to join them as well. A couple people will join them. Now, this won't be for the lead because Anderson will take the lead, but I am curious to see, using my pit lane camera, who will take this, as Hurd will be at the front of the pit lane. Everybody coming up. You'll see the cars going up for the jack. There goes Hurd. He's up. He takes the right side. Does he just take 2? Does he take 4? He doesn't. But I'll tell you who had taken nothing. Mark Day's just come in for fuel. He's going to take that position away from Hurd. No tires for Mark Day. That's a very questionable call. Hurd comes out. He will keep ahead of Mike Gaunt. But yeah, no tires? Very interesting.
He might be gambling. He might be gambling.
That's a big gamble. That's a big gamble.
I mean, you know, it's in this kind of race, you might have to just do that. Essentially, like, I mean, in road coursing, you know, if you're 2 or 3 laps down, there's no real way you're going to be getting back up there. But if you're 2 or 3 laps down in oval, there's a will. But there's a way.
He last pitted what? 79, I want to say. 78, 79. So he's had 20 laps on those tires. Okay, and he's fast because we've had some caution, so he's not used a lot of tire life up. But everyone around him is going to be having, you know, 10 to 20 lap fresher tires. That's going to be a bit of a difference when it comes to a longer run. So realistically, he might be hoping for a green flag pit stop, and he might just be hoping that that helps him off there. But I've just seen some couple others looking at going into the pits as well. They do. Is that Lalonde going in? It is. He pits. But we have a new leader. A new leader as the pace car lights go off. It's the 44 of Troy Anderson, and it is the 44. I realised my issue. JD Crow is reading as the 46. His car number on his car on my screen is 44. But we are calling him the 46, despite I keep saying 44. The real 44 right now is Troy Anderson, who will be the lead car, with Sean Brown behind him. Simon Fawns then, and Stuart Elder. Oh, I wonder what Troy's going to do. It's a different leader. And I don't know if... Here's another thing, Rob, as well, with oval racing, is different leaders mean a different way of starting. Do they go before the green flag to catch you out? Do they wait till the green flag? Do they do a stagger? Do they hold you back? And if you have that issue, is some people may just think that it's the same and just get into a pattern, and it could cause a wreck at the start. Cautions breed cautions. That's a way you get a caution. So we'll wait to see. But at Daytona, of course, usually everybody goes on the green flag. So fingers crossed.
How are the GSR boys or GSRC boys doing? Let me just go ahead and get an update from them, and we'll link it back to you in just a second. But I think this is restart 7. The 8th start for green flag racing here at Daytona. Lap 96 leading into 97 as they come across. Remember, we are racing for John, guys. If you have any spare pennies, please. There's a GoFundMe link down below. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Do it. And you'll get smiles from me. How about that?
And me.
And Craig as well, yes, of course. We'll both smile. Very intently. As the pace car comes off. That is a car actually coming in. There's a car coming in. Oh, there's 2 cars coming in following the pace car, as Sean Brown and Troy Anderson are back at it again. Troy Anderson definitely did not see himself becoming first place after all of that, but he's now leading the race as himself and Sean Brown do battle coming into 1-2. That's the 57 of Simon Thorns on the outside. He's come all the way back from his predicament of midfield pack. He's now up on the lead pack, and he is gnawing at the knees of Sean Brown as they come into them 3 and 4, as Anderson is actually going on the outside, letting Brown by. Brown takes back the lead, and Troy Anderson is actually losing second place. He's lost second place. He's now going to be under threat from Mark Day, who is actually clinging back against Wes Hurd, who's trying to... Oh, he's trying to go side by side with a lapped car. Three very American looking cars here going side by side. That's the car 2 and the car 41. Sorry, correction, 45, I think.
The 41 and the 12, but I'll tell you what, Wes Hurd, the speed that he's got is all day has been fantastic. The 41 of Mark Day just struggling a little bit there. Look at Jack Weddle getting a little bit of using that help there, a little bit of slipstream to help with Hurd. Hurd now gets around Weddle. Sorry, it was a different car. It was Mike Gaunt. It wasn't Weddle. He overlaps Weddle. He's got Troy Anderson right in front of him. Now remember, he came out like P6 on the restart. There he goes past Troy Anderson. Brian Boomsma right there. If he gets by Boomsma, then he's got Sean Brown and Simon Thorns. What a drive back up the field this is for Wes Hurd Jr. He's going to go around the outside of Boomsma. He's going to get round him. He's going to be getting the lead again very shortly. What? Excuse me? He was P6. He was P6 on the restart. And look at it. Side by side with Brown. He's going to go through to Brown. He's going to take the high side. A little bit of a slide. He will lose that, but he's still fighting there. He's going to slot him behind the 20, and I think he's just going to accept that he just needs to calm down and just hold on. JD Crow will go into the pits in front of him. No issues there. Thorns, Brown, Hurd Jr. is your top 3. And it looks like Brown might be making a move here, and he does. And I bet you Hurd will follow him in. He does. New leader, Sean Brown, back up after having that blowover with Hurd there. And unfortunately, it looks like Simon Thorns is going down the order.
Down into 3rd position. You can see him there on the outside. He's actually been passed by Mark Day coming on the inside. And you can just see, just as the banking, let's get on the inside there. There we go. That's the camera angle I wanted. You can see that is Wes Hurd looking very threatening in that Corvette, coming through to complete lap 100. Past the halfway point. We're halfway there, boys. Just need to hold on for 100 laps more. That does sound very threatening, though, because that's 100 very long laps around Daytona, because essentially, with these cars, it is a big old struggle.
We're looking at another hour and 20 minutes, possibly, of course, with cautions and green flags. So they are going pretty good in terms of pace. Having 5 or 6 cautions isn't a bad thing here, especially with the type of cars we're looking at. So they're doing well, especially for the pace. Hurd will lead off Brown and Day. This feels like a repeat of what the last 50 laps. Now that Brown has finally got back up, these 3 cars have been nothing short but of dominant. And you've still got everybody just following in. Boomsma, there, he's a lap car, but Gaunt, Fawn, Somerson, Anderson. We're seeing pack racing that we haven't seen for a while. That's because of Hurd having to bring himself up to the front. I think he just dragged everybody with him. But if these 3 cars just stay together, they're going to start looking at pulling ahead. The 21 there of Mike Gaunt gets around Boomsma. I don't think Boomsma wants to be looking at any racing right now. He is the lucky dog. The only car that's on the lead, that's on a lap down, is Adam Fataponti, who is basically in front of these guys almost. So just wants to be careful, because Boomsma has that transfer spot that he needs so badly, especially with where he's been racing. It would not surprise me if he gets back on the lead lap, if he starts battling for the lead.
We can see a lap car right ahead of them. That is Wes Hurd in the lead, and he's just got a shower of cars right behind him, and they're all going to be packing it in. Oh my crikey, that's the 41. Mark Day making a mistake coming into the 3 and 4, letting Mike Gaunt in back on 3rd, and that's the car number 30, looking to see if he can slalom by, but he's on the inside. Is that what you can... Oh, there is actually something he can do. He can upset Mark Day's day, the day of Mark Day, as the car 57 of Simon Thorns looking to clap back at his teammates there for 4th out of top 5. Corbin Solomonson also looking to see if he can enter the top 5 by overtaking Simon Thorns. But it's all to play for. It's all very fluid right now as they come by into the 3 and 4 of 104.
Yeah, also, by the way, Solomonson had the lucky dot position a couple laps ago, a couple cautions ago. So you can see how he's managed to take advantage of that, get ahead, get a few places, just keep riding. Currently sitting P6, he'll be happy with that. Just wait. It's one of those things you've got to wait. He's got his teammate of Mark Day. Well, no, it's not his teammate, sorry. Forza's got his teammate of Mark Day in front there. Solomonson, he's got no help at the moment because his only teammate is Mike Gaunt sitting in P3. Gaunt could come back if he wants to, but Solomonson is just happy where he is. We're at lap 106. A lot of these cars will be having to pit in the next, 20 or so laps if we're going to get green flag racing. It'll be interesting to see. I think now everybody's just filtered around because of the lap traffic. It might not be a bad thing. My favourite guys at the moment, Walsh and Apsley, sitting 12th and 13th. Again, just taking it easy. They're having a Sunday drive as they just continue to sit at the back. Now, they qualified first and second, or first and third, and here they are, just at the back, just waiting. So they've got plans. I always say keep an eye on them because I really feel that if we get a caution and there's only 30 laps to go, they won't be hanging around anymore. They'll be going for that front.
Just listen. Listen to the sheer noise of this thing. It is loud. It's loud in that car.
Is it time to crank it up? As they say.
Crank it up. Oh dear. Oh dear.
That's the one thing I do miss because the cup cars, they have that unique sound when you go when you get the camera on the barrier and they go by. It's a you don't get that with these. You get that old classic hum of an old engine. I love the old engine sounds and I just love old engines full stop, and it's fantastic to hear what they're doing. Looks like the leader's about to lap the 150 of Facaponte, and he will go 2 laps down. He will now. He's officially 2 laps down as Hurd gets by, having to keep out. But as he's gone that way, oh no, that Brown having a bit of a moment. Trying to go around the outside, could not make it. Had a little bit of a wobble, and holds on. It's gonna let Hurd just have a little bit of a gap. And just let him just breathe a little bit cleaner. But Hurd will be back. He'll make that move. Oh, sorry, Brown will be back. Sorry, he'll make that move shortly. Just wait to see when. There's no rush. Is the right word, I think, as I say. There's no rush at the moment. Everyone's just doing mid 43 laps at the moment, which is really fast.
Wait, say again?
Things
we love to see.
Things we love to see? I didn't say things we love to see.
Oh, I thought you said... Yeah, I thought you said things we love to see, and I was like, you're going to finish that sentence?
Things we love to see. Fast cars, clean racing, competitive racing. Yeah. Anything else? No. Okay, moving on.
Fast things.
Moving on. Moving on, Rob. Where is Solomonson? Because I got to keep an eye. Not Solomon. Sorry. The Boomsma. Boomsma. He's just got to be careful. No, he's sitting just sixth in this train, and you can see how like 5th, 6th, and 7th in their own little thing. And then 8th is like 7 seconds behind. That's Brandon Kluge. So, things happening at the back. We've got big gaps at the moment. I think a lot of that is just due to damage that they're carrying. There is a lot of damage a lot of these cars are carrying out there at the moment. Hurd continues to he's just touching the back of the 150 there. I think he's just happy to stay behind. That there's no reason to force this to lap the 150. The 150's unlapped himself for a reason. Wes is just in saving mode. Car just there on the apron, just letting them by. He's going into the pits. I think Hurd though might be starting to get a bit just starting to feel that he might want to let by because, yeah, Brown and Gaunt are having a little bit of a duel behind.
It is lap 111 out of 200. We're just coming down to the end, sort of counting down towards the final hour of racing. Remember, 10 laps is going to be 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 40-ish seconds. And the
20's got loose! The 20's got loose! The big one! The big one! Everybody's collected! Everybody's collected! Oh no! No, no, no! And that's the that was Brown. Brown just lost it. Absolutely lost it on his own. Oh dear. Lost it high. The car wobbled. He tried to save it. He tried to do everything he could. He collected Gaunt. He collected Day. Boomsma. Boomsma was the transfer spot. He's no longer in a transfer spot now. Vaughn's got caught up. Did Solomonson get by? No, Solomonson T-boned the man. I think some others had some issues as well. Just trying to keep an eye. Did the 26 get by? I think he hugged the wall.
Oh, you could see.
Where do I think?
He tried correcting it and then... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and
the big one at Daytona.
Trouble.
Yeah, the big one. Simply put, that's the big one. And that took a lot of drivers out because some of those guys had already taken their fast repair. Sean Brown as well. He's already taken his fast repair. That looks like that could be his day done. Others as well. Boomsma, he does have a fast repair, but of course, he was the transfer spot. But with that incident, does he still get the transfer spot? I'm not sure. And that would fall to the 150. The 150 would then get that transfer spot. Everybody's coming into the pit to get tyres. Hurd, Anderson, Solomonson, Gaunt, Kluge. That leaves the 150 and the 30 out on their own. And of course, it is indeed. It is the 150 that gets the transfer spot because this is the thing they have in iRacing, Rob. If you are in the lucky dog position, if you are having a 1X in a wreck, then you don't get it because the system could determine that you caused the wreck to get back on the lead lap. So, unfortunately, that is Boomsma having to wait again. Who's the first one out the pits, though? It's Andy Banfield. Banfield will take that away from Hurd, followed by Walsh. By Anderson, sorry. And that's it at the moment. Did Banfield take tyres? Very interesting because he was in 6th. No. Again, another person just coming in for fuel. No tyres.
Andy Banfield is out first. Wes Hurd Jr. took tyres and is out second. Behind him is Troy Anderson. And then Mike Gaunt. Brendan Klug, actually, he's up into 5th position. So, I don't think without tyres, I'm not sure if that's a good gamble to make. I'm gonna be honest, especially the fact that there's cars ahead of him. He won't be able to make passes. So it'll definitely be in the hands, I would imagine, of this man, Wes Hurd Jr. as they come for the eighth restart on lap 113, coming past 114.
There's a lot of damage on some of these cars right now, and you can see some of these lap cars have decided to come in. That is Anel Singh, that is Stephen Wong, and that is Drew Ledont. And Brian Boomsma comes in because he realizes he does not have the transfer spot. He can afford to just stay out because he's the only car one lap down. Does he go for the pop? No, he's already used it. That car is not fixing. And look at the back of it. Oh wow, that's quite a lot of damage to the back of that car.
Just an update on the GSRC side of things. Hello to GSRC if you're watching, if you're listening. They are on lap 116, so we're actually quite in sync right now. In terms of issues, they're going to be on
cautions.
Yeah, they're actually on probably about the same number of cautions as we are. They're doing the European Pro versions. We're doing the European Sportsman class, and we're just seeing now, just coming around for another crack of the whip. Their lights are still on. Our lights have just clicked off, so catching back up to him. Who will finish first? Will the Sportsman or the Pro finish first? I have a $5 on the Sportsman.
Oh, you're betting, are you? Yeah. Well, our lights are about to go out. I love the GSRC. Shout out to GSRC, by the way. It's great to see everybody come together for the major series. They're just hyping up their broadcast that's coming up as well. If you like more, we'll be back tomorrow night for this RSR Super Trofeo series. We can't wait for that. But the lights are going out on the pace car. The pace car is about to jump in to the pit lane. Here he goes. Slides in. And that's Andy Brunch just gone. I don't think you could do that, Andy. Sorry, Andy Banfield leads them away, and yet he does go by. I think that might be a drive-through there.
I think he's got a black flag, yeah. Lap 115.
Yeah, go on.
Lap 115, that is a black flag for, I think, who was that? It was that Jan?
That was
If his problems couldn't get any worse, he's now had to serve a black flag, which is not what he wants to do. But he'll have to do it. Unfortunately, he went too early. The leader did not keep up with him. The leader wanted to wait until the line was there, and then off he went. Andy Banfield is up on his own, but he doesn't have tires, which means that Wes Hurd Jr. is already going on the inside. My God, it's just launched out of absolutely nowhere, coming out of the 3 and 4, sliding a little bit around as he does. And he is actually now over to second place. This is the highest he's been all day. Looking into first position against Wes Hurd Jr. Jr. has been doing very well for himself, keeping up on lead laps as best he can. I think he's led he's in the top 3 of most laps led of this race so far.
I'd say 50. I would say 50. I don't know, maybe might be 60. He's led a lot of laps, has Wes. I think Brown has led quite a few as well. Not sure who else, but yeah, he has led quite a bit. Mike Gaunt is now in the dizzying heights of second. He's made 17 places up this race as he just continues to go. The track, the competition is starting to just, fade. Everything's just split at the moment. Ignore the 82 and the 87. They're way behind as they've been doing all race in good strategy. You've got Scott Kukas on his own with no help apart from lap cars. Solomonson is trying to be helped along with Elder. And then Banfield and the rest of them are all there. So the top 6 in their little group here. The rest of the cars all just spread out at the moment. As we continue to see Mark Day wants to make a move on Kluge. He will force Kluge high and will take that position. So that's Day back into P3. But of course, this is oval racing, Rob. There's no podiums. There's only one position that matters, and that's the winner. And currently, if it finished right now, it's Wes Hurd Jr.
Wes Hurd Jr. battling with Mike Gaunt. Sorry, excuse me, I have to clear my throat. That is going very high wide for Wes Hurd Jr. coming through the 1 and 2. As the cars are actually coming out of the pits. People are coming out of the pits at this stage of the race. Oh dear, posing threats. And all you're going to hear is the shouty boy. Ah! That's the car 57. Oh dear, going on the inside. He holds it though. Coming around the 3 and 4. Mike Gaunt on the inside. Wes Hurd on the outside. Sorry, he switched lanes. He's still trying to keep on the rear end of Wes Hurd Jr. as best he can while they're going around traffic. I mean, credit where the credit's due. He is trying his best. But at the very same time, I would not want to be in his shoes right about now.
Wouldn't want to be in anyone's shoes. By the way, Fata Ponce has the transfer spot, and he was a lap down. But if Wes Hurd gets by him, he'll be 2 laps down, and all that transfer spot would do would just put a lap up on him. And that's what's happened. Officially now lapped. They're side by side, actually, because Hurd's gone to the high side. So it's still 1 lap. Now it's 2 laps. And if they keep flickering, there we go. Now there is officially lapped. There is no driver 1 lap down in the race. The lowest is 2 laps down. As Gaunt tries to follow Wes around. As Hurd continues that lead. Does Gaunt just hold on to it? He does. No, he doesn't. He can't get by. Look, he's struggling to get by the 150. That slipstream from Wes Hurd is not working. Well, mainly because the high side, the longest side. Finally get past. The overlap is gone between Gaunt and Fata Ponce. It's weird just talking about lap traffic causing issues at Daytona, but that's it. No! Gaunt's off. Gaunt's on the. Oh, what a save! Did he just save that?
He did indeed. He did indeed. Let's go ahead and show you what exactly happened to Mike Gaunt. Oh dear, did he save this? We're just going to show you just on his gyro.
No words.
And there's the slide. Oh crikey! Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear! Saved it.
That's an iRacing top 10 moment. You don't save these cars. When you hit the apron, you're dead. No matter what you are. A cup car, an Xfinity car, a truck car, a modified, a stock car, a street stock, I mean. A classic. You don't save that. Mike Gaunt, are you wearing Superman, a Superman suit underneath that shirt of yours right now? Because, wow.
Also, I've got no words. I was wondering why the ADS-7 Ford Thunderbird looks so familiar. I never realized where it's come from. It's in the Daytona USA game.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there you go. Also, here's a question: why is it that I know you've answered this before? But why is it that the cars of this area, more than anybody else, had like, look at the side of it, like it's just covered in sponsorships.
Money.
Yeah, I mean, but these
are at the end of the day, some of the sponsorships by the numbers are like the things that you have to have because it's the car sponsor. You know what I mean? It's the people. It's like the companies that help the car. It's like the stickers that you get on the cars. Everyone gets them. I'm trying to get a good example, and I'm failing at the moment. But they've got next to their numbers, they've got like the NASCAR series. They've got like STP, which is their oil provider. They've got Stuart Warner, who helped them. You know, you've got the Bush logo because it's the Bush series. They've got Gatorade as well. Gatorade was a main sponsor. It's mainly sponsor of the manufacturer than anything that you've got to help, because you've got 76, you've got the NASCAR Cup logos, Michigan engine bearings. Well, that's obviously that company's helped them. So it's just basically what you get when it turns out like you've got your sponsor, your main sponsor for the car, and that's just the company. That's just the manufacturer sponsor. If you look at it, they've got different sets of stickers on both types of cars, on the Chevrolet and the Ford. And that's the gist of it, from what I've learned over the years. Did it help?
Kind of,
yeah. This is RGS, man. This is Raidillon Guesstimate Service, and they almost went 4 wide. Oh my word! Brandon Kluge almost made that 3 wide. The 150 doesn't want to give up this important spot here, does he? Because Adam realizes that if he gets his nose in front of Wes when there is a caution, he'll be on the lead lap. If he's behind Wes, he's still going to get another lap back. So, very important right now for Adam in the 150 to try and keep that. And I thought Wes just there, he's had a little bit of a slide, kissed the apron there, coming out of 4 onto the tri-oval. He keeps it going, and I think Adam's time at the front might be limited now as Mark Day gets by. They've got a couple lap cars coming up ahead shortly, but Hurd leads with Day behind. And they Adam doesn't want to let go of this. Look at it.
It is essentially pack racing. We're actually on board with Brandon Klug right now, as he's just trying to see where he can go. Does he go on above? Does he go below? Where does he go? Where does he go? At essentially 200 miles an hour.
3 wide there. That's 3 wide. There's 2 in the wall there. That's lap cars in the wall. That looked like it was the 8.
It was Brown.
Stephen Wong and then Brown. Yeah. Gets around though, gets saved, so everything okay. And again, Adam there looking. We almost had a moment there that Brown had with Boomsma earlier, with Facaponte almost spinning Hurd. We don't want to see that. We're on lap 128. These leaders pitted lap 113, so they still got 20 laps of fuel remaining. I don't think Day wants to get by right now. He wants to just keep safe, but he doesn't want to lose. He's spun the car. He's kept the car alive. Excuse me.
How did he manage to save that? Genie macaroni. Almost sideways, coming all the way through 3 and 4, and he managed to save it. Oh, my days. My day. Oh, dear. He has lost 2 positions, though, so he is down to 4th position. The car 40 of Brendan Klug up into 2nd place, the highest he's ever been in this race. I'm gonna take that time and tower away. All we need to see is, and here is the sounds of Otter. I can't even hear myself speak when how loud these cars are.
I can't do these classic cars. I can't make the noise. It sounded like a cow mooing there for a moment. I do apologize. They just continue. Listen to them. Listen to them. And they're all racing for John. They're all racing for John. And they're giving it. If you're watching, John, I hope they've given you a great show. I know there's been the big one, but these guys at the front have just continued to bring entertainment. Wes Hood Jr. has just driven so well today. I'm sorry, I got to knock on wood when I say that. He's driven so well today. Just fought his way back up after having some different pit stop strategies and working his way up. We're hitting lap 131 very shortly. He gets by Fataponki once again. Continues to lead the charge. It's just these 4 cars, well, 5 if you include the lap 150, on their own by 5 seconds. We've hit the 2-hour mark, by the way, Rob. There's another 40 to 50 minutes remaining.
Whew. Well, at the very least, we get to spend it with the likes of these guys, you know. Get to spend our Sunday evenings with the likes of these guys, because...
Where else would you want to be?
Well, I can tell you where they wouldn't want to be, in the middle of that car trying to race these things. Because they look very scary. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be able to race them.
We'll get you driving these. Don't worry. We'll get you driving these. Don't you worry about it. We continue to keep watching, by the way. Like I say, this is Raidillon TV. If you've never watched it before, the only corner you need. Like I said earlier on, if you want to watch any more of us, hit that like button and the subscribe button. We have membership tiers on our YouTube page. A link to our Discord underneath the video. A link to trackcams22.com. And, of course, an important link to that Just Giving page for John King. We'll be back, of course. Don't forget, our schedule this week is always Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Ready? The RSR Super Trofeo, the RSR World Series, and the European Sprint Series in that order, respectively. Do check out. If you hit that bell, you'll understand and you'll be told when we go live. But these guys are live. They're alive. They are 5 alive. All 5 of them. I can't believe I just did that. I've just ruined it. They are 5 alive.
5 alive. Oh my god.
Remember 5 alive?
No.
That was a drink, wasn't it?
Yeah, so was Harp, but we don't talk about Harp. It's a terrible drink.
It
had a really weird ad with it as well. That's all I know. That's all I remember.
Five Alive was a set of juice blends made by Coca-Cola. Other soft drink companies are available. I did not realize they were a Coca-Cola product.
Do you remember Dasani?
Yes, Dasani. I know. I've heard all about that story.
Yeah, remember when? Well, I mean, I was only like 9 or 10 when it happened, but like that's a classic case of an oops. And it wasn't even. Okay, it wasn't even bad. It wasn't even bad. It was just because it was the context of the entire situation, plus the fact of one particular show, made that whole thing just sort of go ends up.
So basically, to those not aware of what happened in the United Kingdom with Dasani, was, as everyone knows, almost every country in the world has Dasani bottled water. Well, it came to the UK, and they realised, so a TV show or something did an investigation. Dasani was just tap water in the UK, and that's it. Ever since then, ever since like the mid 2000s, Dasani's never been in the UK. So it blows my mind just thinking about it. It's like the inverse of Scotland being just Iron Brew is its main beverage. Scotland's the only country in the whole world where the number one soft product is not Coca-Cola. The number one soft product in every country is a Coca-Cola product, apart from Scotland, which is Iron Brew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Just
Yeah, but I mean, they ruined Iron Brew. I don't know if anybody else... Okay, well, we are in the European section, so they would definitely at least understand what Iron Brew is. But essentially, Iron Brew is... It was one of the greatest drinks ever, and then they ruined it.
Well, none of these cars are ruining anything right now. Knock on wood. Continuing to battle. There's a massive gaggle at the back of the field, by the way. That Brad Welsh car at speed little duo. They've got Stuart Elder right with them. Then they've got 4 lap cars right behind them, which is, I think that's Ladone, Fawn, Scott Kukus, and Mason Marzov. So they're all just driving together, just getting around. Like I said, if anything happens, we'll see those guys launching in, but they're 20 seconds away from Wes Hurd. As Wes Hurd, Mark Day, Brandon Kluge, and Troy Anderson continue to go with Adam Fataponte in front of them. Again, we keep an eye on that because remember, if the 150 is ahead of the 12, when there's a caution, he comes back to the lead lap as the lucky dog. If he's not in front, he stays a lap down. So we are keeping eyes on that as we're on lap 137, I believe. Yeah, I got lap 137. I think the timing tower says how many laps completed, and we are on lap 137.
We're 4 laps ahead of GSRC. We're winning.
I'm just gonna go in. I'm just gonna go into the video. I'm just gonna go in a minute and go. Yeah, by the way, Europeans, the Sportsman series said they're gonna beat you.
Yeah, this would be like we're gonna be finished first. Yeah. Imagine if I was that pretentious. Anyways, lead 5 or lead 4, correction, are still. I thought it was lead 5, but there's actually one of them is a lapped car, I think.
Yeah, the 150. Yeah, the 150 at the front. Adam Fataponte, who is a lap down, but like I said, is at the caution. If he stays like this at the caution, I gotta sneeze. Sorry, I had to sneeze there.
Sorry. Does he get the lucky dog?
If he stays here, he gets the lucky dog regardless. But here's the thing: if he stays in front of Wes Hurd, he gets on the lead lap. If Wes Hurd gets in front of him at the caution, he's 2 laps down. He gets the lucky dog. He then goes 1 lap down. You see what I mean? So he needs to stay in front.
Let the 12 car by. He hit the position where the flag came out. Actually, that's the wrong one. Now, I just remembered splits, or the stints that they're actually having right now. The lead 4, the correction, lead 5, including Mike Gaunt, who's back a ways, they're all 25 laps gone, which to my calculations, I think they are within the next 15 laps due to come in. And now, this brings up the question. Do they come in for tires now and hope there's not another caution? And try and go to the end if they can? Or do they just go gung-ho and say, let's go it. Let's do it.
Well, put it like this. Andy Banfield never took tyres on that last restart, did he not? Do you know where he is? He's 12 seconds behind everybody. Now, I don't know if that's a case of the old tyres or just the pace that Hurd, Day, Kluge, and Anderson are doing. But that just gives you an idea that I think you have to look at taking tyres when you come in for the stop. There's 60 laps to go, and like we say, they're coming up to that window. And I'm just trying to think to myself, they might have to do... this is going to be a tight one. They will have to do another pit stop. They'll have to do 2 pit stops to get to the end. So there could be a splash and dash. I don't think you can fuel save enough. They pitted lap 113. There are about 38 to 40 laps of tank. So they will be coming in lap 150. There is no way you can stretch it 50 laps. They will have to do a splash and dash. That's going to be very interesting just to see, because that will throw everything up. And then comes the issue. Now, we call it an undercut, Rob. In road racing, you call it an undercut. But when it comes to Daytona, it's short pitting. Because you're pitting early to fuel less to get out. So who will short pit? if they have to. But at the same time, these all 4 cars are just so fast. Oh, a little bit of a touch! A little bit of a touch there from the 150 onto Wes Hurd. Gets by though, but oof, a little bit of a touch. Keeps on going.
Look back now. I mean, this is how close it is, and all you can hear is the scream of the engine as they're looking back, and you can just see. I mean, Fittipaldi, he has an absolute key thing to keep in mind. If he lets him by, as you said before, he's done and dusted. He's 2 laps down, but if he keeps ahead as the caution comes out, he's 1 lap ahead. He comes back into the game, and he's on the rear end of Stuart Elder. Then once that happens, and he'll be absolutely be able to fight once again for position. So in that way, oval is good. I mean, you're not down and out if you go a lap down, which is a good thing. But that caution though, it's dangerous when it comes out, because as he said, cautions lead to cautions.
Cautions breed cautions. I'm amazed how many people in both races, by the way, are on the lead lap, especially with the challenge that is these 87s. It's really who wants it more. You can tell that some of these drivers just have the issue. We've seen some of the guys have their little slides, seen them hit the apron just a bit too much and cause chaos, but these at the front are just doing good. And I gotta be honest, it's nice that they've used the 2011 scan of Daytona, not the 2008 scan, because that would have been way too bumpy. I've driven it myself with these cars, and the bumps would cause issues. Literally, you would not want to race the classic version, Rob. If you think this is scary, try racing the classic version. You'd struggle.
I would not want to. I will pass immediately on that.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm doubly sure.
We're gonna get you in one of these cars. We're gonna get you in one of these cars. Do not worry.
No. I hereby forbid myself from ever jumping into one of these cars. They look scary.
They're fine. So somebody in chat will tell you that they're fine. Honestly, just a little bit of a handle. You just got to drive it a little bit safer. It's not a foot down. You've really just got to know your throttle control. Know your limits of the car. Know that you don't have a big wing or downforce to keep you down. Real fun car. Just a handful. It's a nice challenge.
I was just trying to process what you just said. I thought you just said anvil for a second.
An anvil?
Why are you bringing anvils into the conversation?
I didn't bring an anvil in.
Well, because you brought an anvil in, because this is the absolute chock-a-block of racing right now, because it's... I mean, with these top 4 being... I was trying to all tie it in together, but I've just lost my train of thought. If we'd used old Daytona for this, I can guarantee none of these would have made it past 2 laps if Craig is correct.
It's bumpy. It would have been fine, just a little bit bumpy. You just feel it in your force feedback on your steering wheel. You like if you had a microphone, if you had voice activation on a microphone and you had a steering wheel right next to it, all you hear would go. You just hear the force feedback just going ping all the time.
Yeah, but look, listen, I want to have enjoyment in my race, not like I have to panic every time the wheel moves. I like smooth.
You like it smooth, do you? Okay. Then oval racing's not for you, Rob. What can I say?
Yes, I don't need to go on the oval. I don't need to go on an oval track. Yes.
So outside the leaders, Mike Gaunt is having. He's just on his own. Well, he's not on his own. He's with Andy Banfield. They're on their own. No one's around them. Again, they pitted lap 113, so same as the others. But you've got to feel that not taking tyres really affected Andy. Mike as well. He's just having an issue. He's not quick at the moment. It does lead to question, what damage does he have? And he's got a pretty clean car. It's just probably just an issue. Is he wearing a suit? Is his race suit like a three-piece suit, or is that just me? I think it's just me.
I think it's just you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But no, we've got that for 5th and 6th at the 17 seconds behind the battle for 5th and 6th between Gaunt and Banfield, and then behind them as well some more battles going on. It's very spread out at the moment, apart from the front 5.
Crow is still in the pits. He's been there for 30 minutes. I think he's getting a lot of damage repaired. He is 47 laps down now, or 48 laps down in the leader. And the big battle is for 1st to 4th. 5th and 6th are in their own little battle, and then everybody else is quite spread out at the moment. Sorry, Stuart Elder's in the wall. He's having to... Oh, he's not having a stable ride in that car. I don't think it's very stable. Let's go ahead and see what happened to him. He's going high into the... Oh! That's a lot of sparks going off. That was into the 1 and 2. I think he was letting cars by and just... He was letting the leaders by. And he was just caught up. I am pretty sure now... Oh, that was a bit of smoke. Not...
I think that's a blinker. That's a blinker in front of the leaders. That's all that is. No need to worry. Just the leaders having... I think that's Kuka's just having a little bit of internet issues there in the 085 car in front of them. But still, these 4... There hasn't been an overtake for position on the track for the last 20 laps. That just gives you an idea of what's happening right now. They're just waiting their turn. They're shortly going to hit 51 laps to go. And there's a car on the grass.
Crikey.
Car with no engine.
2 cars with no engine.
Boomsma, Solomonson, what has happened to these 2? Has it just given up for them? No, they came together. Boomsma loses the car. Solomonson behind. Goes into the back. They both go around. Excuse me, how's that not a caution?
Yeah, and... Oh. How... Oh! How was that not a caution?
And that is actually a huge ramification. Because granted, if they had to take a caution, they're all near the end of their fuel strategy right now, so it wouldn't matter too much. They still have to do 2 stops, but it would have brought everybody into play. Atspy now comes into the pits on his own. Where's his teammate? Had Brad not pit? Oh, Brad's not pitted. Atspy's on his own as Brad pits, so obviously different fuel strategy for both of them. They are now in the pits. Hurd, Day, it sounds like they're setting up they're setting up for a strategy here. These top 5, all strategy. And it sounds like Hood might be coming in. Now, in the real world, I would usually see a hand out the window. But no, there's no hand out the window. It's just a radio right here. Does Hurd come in? We'll wait and see. Comes out of 4. All 5 of them come in. Little bit of a slide by the 41. Going sideways. No, he kept it off the wall. Wow. Mark just saved that, right?
Just about.
Wow.
Here he is. Well, Mark Day, I think he's given himself a big old cold brown. Because this is
he never touched the wall.
This is slide. How?
He never touched the wall.
How?
I have no words. So Mark Day had that impossible save earlier, right?
Yeah.
And now he does that.
He's now got a second impossible save.
Yeah. Mark. No, it was Mike Gaunt, sorry, who had to save. Mark Day. What? What? Anyway, everyone's coming for their pit. They all took tyres. Day's going to be a little bit far behind. Anderson takes that P2. It's all over the place right now because everyone's just taking their time. Hood, still the leader. He's got Kluge right with him. Fataponte is with them as well. Anderson Mark Day, is back. Quite far back. Brad Walsh is now just coming out the pits as well, taking his time. So they need to do one more pit stop. And this could be crucial as well, because if they get a caution in the next 10 laps, they could fuel for the whole to the end. That is the number we're looking at. You're going to look around lap 160, would practically be the time that you can start thinking the window is open, who's going to take it. But everybody is so spread out right now. Hurd, Kluge are together. The top two are together. They've got a lap car with them in front. They've got 2 lap cars behind them, Aspie and Marzov. Everything has just gone out the window. Only 6 cars on the lead lap right now. There are 7 cars a lap down. I'm kind of... It's hard to find everybody right now because the gaps are so big. I'm looking at my information. You got the timing tower. It's so spread out right now.
And we're on board with Brendan Klug as he is trying to come up to the rear end of Wes Hurd Jr. And unfortunately, he just has to sit behind as he has a lap car ahead of him, the car of 150 Adam Fittipaldi, who was technically, if he was in first, he'd be leading, but he's still keeping himself 1 lap ahead, or, well, technically 1 lap ahead of where he would be if he was behind. He's just trying to not get caught, and once he has the lucky dog, he can then fly right.
He doesn't anymore.
Oh, he doesn't
anymore. That's the thing. Because of all the pit stops and how everybody was so spread out, Cole Aspie in that 87 is now in the lucky dog position. Brad Walsh's teammate is currently P5, battling with Andy Banfield near the back of them. Well, literally 28 seconds behind them, and Walsh gets by Banfield and he takes P4. So Walsh, this car that I was saying keep your eyes on, is now starting to go, but it's too far. He needs to have a caution right here, and so does his teammate Aspie. They need a caution right now to get back to where they won. But right now, Walsh, 4th position, 19 seconds behind 19 seconds behind Mark Day, who himself's 8 seconds behind. I'm saying numbers that I shouldn't be saying for oval racing. That is how chaotic it is right now.
And you just see on board with Andy Banfield looking at Brad Walsh, who was actually starting to escape his grasp. 4 times a second to be separating the 2 of them as they come into lap correction, lap 150. They're on lap 158 now. Coming into 159.
No, your tower.
Oh yeah, I'm
your
one behind.
Your tower's wrong. The tower shows the laps completed, not the lap they're on. Just for those wondering. For those watching for the GSRC coverage, unfortunately, they have had a big one, and I mean a big one.
I just saw
5, 6, 7 cars have gone off. I'll be honest, we will direct you to them once the race is finished, because I think we might be coming to 20 laps ahead of them. We will direct you to them afterwards, definitely, because we would love to see that. Trying to keep Kluge on that, because it's great to see all the action as Kluge continues to push Wes Hurd. Banfield is 20 seconds? Sorry, Walsh, 20 seconds away from Mark Day. These 2 at the front are just in another league of their own. It's amazing to see how good these 2 guys are. It's such a challenge, this car, like we keep saying. So to be this quick is really, it's fantastic. They've done nothing but 43s all race. Pretty sure of it. Nothing but 43s all race with these guys. Yeah. In the 43s, Kluge had a couple blank laps, but yeah, nothing but 43. Some great racing by these guys.
Coming up to lap 161, or on the 161st lap of 200, so we are 4/5 of the way through, and the field is... It's getting quiet. This is actually the longest run they've had in between cautions. The last caution, I think, if memory serves,
up 110, I think it was, or 100. Yeah, 110 was the last caution. So they've gone 50 laps without a caution. But the crucial thing is, the pit window to go to the end is starting to... That door's just creeping open. Somebody forgot to bolt the door, and it's letting a draft in. And that's what they need to watch out for right now.
We can see there's various fights now breaking out as 6th and 7th are fighting. 4th and 5th are losing each other, but they're about to start battling again. Scott Kukas and Mike Gaunt in 9th and 10th are about to battle each other as they are separated by one down on power car. That's one very wrecked looking car there. So it is actually starting to look like we may be looking at it in terms of who between Brendan Klug and Wes Hurd will come out on top comparative to Mark Day, because Mark Day, if there's no cautions, he's 12 seconds behind. He cannot convert it. The two of Wes Hurd and Brendan Klug are actually lapping 0.5 of a second a lap quicker, which on an oval is quite sharpish.
Also, also a key thing as well, no overtime. So if there's a yellow flag and they cross the line behind the pace car, that's it. I believe there is no overtime here. So that's also another factor they've got to keep thinking for. They can't hope for a caution to finish near the end of the race. If a caution's going to happen, it will have to happen, with 10 to go if they want to have that big dive at the end. So they've got to be careful. But all of them now know they have to wait for fuel because they don't have enough fuel to get to the end. So who is the one that blinks first? Who's short pits out of everybody? I would not want to do it if I'm Mark Day or Brad Walsh. You've just got to be careful. Carl Atsby continues to stay. That's a nice little battle we should be keeping our eyes on as well. The 87 of Atsby versus the 44 of Anderson. I think they've just been lapped again. No, they're right behind the leaders. But both of those guys are battling for that transfer spot. The all-important transfer spot there, because if Atsby gets that transfer spot, he's going to be able to work with his teammate to the end. If Anderson gets it, he's got a shot on his own to do something. So that's one battle to keep an eye out, and they're right behind the leaders. So that's pretty cool to see. You've got an important battle for the win. You've got an important battle for the transfer spot. And right now, Atsby is starting to pull away from Anderson as he uses that slipstream. Well, he did use that slipstream of Weddle, but he's using the slipstream of Brandon Kluge.
Let's go ahead and get some laps with just seeing these guys scream by, because I want to see how these guys are actually doing in terms of just sheer noise, because I just like it. By the way, we do have to say, remember guys, if you do have any spare pennies, please consider supporting John in his battle against brain cancer, and make sure that we give him every fighting opportunity he can. Racing for John today. The GoFundMe link is in the description. Please consider donating any pennies or any pounds that you have. It's for a great cause, and even as trying times as these might be, let's give a helping hand to those that are absolutely 100% in need of it.
Definitely, we continue to race for John. We're going to make sure these last 34 laps are massive.
Yeah, 33 now.
For John. 33 laps just for John. It's going to be... Rob, it's time to say it. It's going to be tight.
Oh, it's tight. Oh.
And that is my one bottom split reference done for the day. As we continue. The top four. We did the four most important cars on track right now are all together. Once again, you've got the 12 of Wes Hurd battling the 40 of Brandon Kluge. That is for first and second. Right behind them, you've got the 87 of Atsbury versus the 44 of Anderson. Should there be a caution, Atsbury gets the lucky dog, the transfer spot. And that is a huge point. And I don't know if he's trying to get around Kluge or if he's trying to just hold up behind. But of course, if the leaders crash and he gets collected, no transfer spot. And then if Anderson gets collected, no transfer spot. And it would go to Corbin Solomonson, who is with Mark Day, who is 15 seconds behind everybody. So he could win the lottery. if that happened. But we'll keep our eyes on this. This is, I mean, with no offense, this is the only battle, the only show around right now.
Another caution in GSRC's top split. At this rate, I'm going to be winning a $5 from myself to myself. No, that $5 will go to Racing for John. If we do happen to beat them in terms of finishing first, I will put five of my own monies to... Well, actually, I put 15 of my own monies. How about that? Put 15 of my own monies for John. Actually, let me see if I can go do that now. Give me a second.
You do that now. I'm just going to keep everybody up to date. Like I said, we're on lap 169. Coming out of turn 4, we'll be going on to lap... Oh, the... Asprey hitting the wall. Sorry, that was Clue. Sorry, almost touching the wall. Coming around there. Coming around. He does keep it going. Very, very tricky. I mean, I've never liked driving on the tri-oval myself. I do feel it's very risky because you're turning at 190 miles an hour. 200 miles, you're turning, and you're hoping on a wing and a prayer nothing goes wrong. And with these cars, you're turning at 205 miles an hour, and you've got a lift, and you've just got to make sure nothing bad happens. So you just got to be careful. And of course, as well, if anyone did race Daytona week, the Xfinity cars, I mean, even the Daytona 500 had that one issue of sunset coming out of turn 4, and you can't see a thing. That was one thing they had to deal with, one thing everyone had to deal with, and that just made entering the tri-oval worse. Or even coming out of 4 worse, because you couldn't even see the car in front of you. There was a lot of checkups happening there. There won't be any checkup today as there's no sun right there. There's no reason to have that. Lap 171. I am surprised we've not had a caution, because we did have that wreck. We did have those two cars take each other out. Boomsma not take each other out on purpose, but get caught up in a little wreck. But they went onto the grass. They didn't cross back over, and they unfortunately were out of the race with blown engines. When do they pit is the question. I say that because the short pitting could work. Do you want to work with each other? I think it's fair to say that both of these guys, Hurd and Kluge, they've got some good pace. So do they need each other? Well, yeah, you want to make sure you're doing 44s at most if you're not in slipstream. So does he go for it? What about Aspie and Anderson? Who goes there? You could almost say that Brandon and Kyle will go together. Troy and Wes will go together. I cannot see all 4 of them coming in at the same time.
Really?
But all right, here's the plot twist. I can't see them all coming in at the same time. How about Wes and Brandon go in, Carl and Troy don't, caution comes out, and they don't need Lucky Dog? See what I mean? Just so many permutations right now.
Okay, maybe yes and no. How about that? I agree with you. There are not many permutations in and of themselves, but really?
Anything can happen. Anything can happen right now. But I think what they're all hoping for is a caution. They do not want to pit early in case there's a caution. So I think they will be going together. They've got no choice at the end of the day. They've got to go together. There's only 5 cars, as you can see on the timing tower, on the lead lap. Which is
even
really
less,
weird to see.
and even less in comparison to what I was expecting to be on in a competitive position to fight for the lead. We're counting it down. It is getting to the point where it's like, ooh, we might be in a situation where it might actually be, a bit of an oddball in terms of who will be battling for the lead, because there's only one person battling for the lead right now. It's Brandon Klug.
Well, they're talking about their strategies right now on the radio. I'm listening to the radio. They're trying to work out what they're doing. They're working with the 150. The 150 Adam Fittipaldi is that car that is like they're working with him. They've just decided just go with it. This is fine. In fact, Wes has just said you just stay there, Adam. Just stay there. You do what you got to do. There's what 25, 26 laps to go. 25 now as they cross the line. So they're at the stage of a truck race now. They're at that stage of a truck race on iRacing. When do they pit? Because I think they're going to be 10 laps short. That'd be interesting. This whole fuel situation, it excites me. It excites me because this is what got me into NASCAR in the first place, Rob, was fuel battles. Just the whole strategy game from pit stops. And it could decide who wins the Daytona 500 today.
I mean, you see, the problem is it's getting to that point where it's like it's very dangerous. You get what I mean? If a caution comes out now, with only really a few laps to go in the grand scheme of things, there's only less than 23 laps to go. Could it be that it goes green all the way through, and the only thing that we have to watch and to keep our eyes on is who gets out of the pits first between Wes Hurd and Brandon Klug? If Brandon has fuel saved, does he take tires, by the way? Does he take tires? Or does he risk a biscuit?
Ooh. If there's no caution and it's a green flag pit stop, you splash and dash because you don't take a lot of fuel on. If there's a caution, I think you look at tires. Just because that restart's going to be very sketchy in old tires. You'll have to launch off in second, maybe third gear with these cars because of the power. So we're looking at that. It's going to be. You know what? Hang on. I'll throw another curveball. I think that they may even risk 2 tires. The old adage of 2 or 4 tires. Jeff McConey always told me that if you want the car to feel a little bit more stable on old tires, you take 2 lefts. You never take 2 lefts on an oval track. All the work's on the right. Why'd you take 2 lefts? It could work. But if you want that grip, if they've got to do green flag pit stops, 2 tires might be the way to go. Because that would be the time that you would have while you're doing that splash and dash. It's a tough one to call. And it all comes down to what happens in the race. If there is a caution, then that's what we're looking at. But I do not know what we're looking at. And in fact, as far as I'm aware, I think everybody's still out there. There's only a couple.
Oh, there's a car going. Correction.
Yeah, one in the grass.
No green. There's no yellow flag.
No, because he's not come back on the track. That car is smoking. It's the 115 of Stuart Elder. He's hit the wall. He's coming back he's coming to the pits. No caution. Come on, racing. That would be a caution in the real world.
I think everybody was screaming at that point. iRacing, give me a caution!
Pretty much.
I think everybody was screaming that. It's like, my tires are exploding. We're still green, by the way. And we are coming into a situation where we're in the teens of laps to go now. This is actually getting very exceptionally serious. Is there going to be a splash and dash? We need to see that happen right around. Oh, splash and dash with 10 laps to go, I think.
That's what I've been looking at. That is what I've been looking at. It's 10 laps to go. It'd be a 10-lap shootout in these cars. But at the same time, it's just Wes and Brandon. Like, it's just been a dominance from the 2 of them all day. I think Wes is now up to 120 laps led. I'm not entirely sure. I can't wait to look at the screen. And that is a car going into the pits behind them. Not sure it was. It's none of the 4 we've been looking at for the last however many minutes. I've lost count. But it is a car down. In fact, you want to see something, Rob? On my timing tab, on my relative, car 82 is 5 seconds ahead of the leaders. Car 82 is Brad Walsh, who's in 4th position.
I'm going.
Are we going to get over? Yeah. Are we going to get them lapped? Another one lapped?
Ooh, that's actually good. That's actually a good thing. Good. Sorry, good question. It also might also paint a picture. Is this going to be how it shapes up for the next 15 minutes? Is it going to tick down and win? Are we not even going to see a caution? Is this going to be the longest run? It's a quite long run, to be fair, and I'm happy about that, but I'd say everybody on that track is screaming for a caution, because this will be the absolute perfect place to have it. Like, you couldn't have a more perfect place to have it, and just having it all neatly wrapped in a present than right now. But I doubt it. These guys are they've been calmed down and racing very clean, and they're all in packs as of right now. They're all in their own little individual packs. As you can see, we're on with Troy Anderson. He, and unfortunately himself, is not having that good of a day. I mean, he started 20th and he climbed all the way to 6th, but compared to where he was fighting for the lead, I think he would have been much preferring to be up there with the big boys. Kyle Apsey with his very striking. It's like what's that card? What is that card?
What do you mean?
Look at his livery. I know that's from like a Corvette of some sort, like that sports car, that Corvette sports car, like the Z02 or something, Z03.
Oh,
like
no.
that it's got that same color. It's got that same kind of color scheme.
Pass. Next question.
And next question: When's my caution? That's probably what everybody else is asking. There's not going to be and well, I've probably just jinxed everybody in this field. There's not going to be another caution. I'm not knocking on wood, because we don't have commentators cursor around here. It's all.
I'm not touching.
Yeah,
none of us
are knocking on wood. None of us are doing anything ridiculous like that, because we don't need it. Nah.
Well, going around the lap traffic, Wes has kind of pulled away from Brandon a little bit. 0.4 of a second doesn't sound a lot, alright. But in terms of if it was the last lap and he had to make a run, Brandon couldn't make a run. So that's a crucial thing. Another thing I've just noticed, Absby pitted lap 151. Anderson pitted lap 153. So in the battle for the transfer spots, that's going to be interesting because they're on different laps, they're on different fuel. The leaders all pitted lap 153. It's lap 186 right now. They are now gone 33 laps on this tank. I'm just thinking to myself, I think 5 more laps. So I'll be glued to the radio to get some chatter just to see what they will do.
It still absolutely 100% amazes me, by the way, that these cars are doing bankings at 200 miles an hour in 1987.
Well, they're hitting the banking at 122 kilometers an hour, so it's not fully 200. They're going 210 down the straight, or 25. They're probably doing about 190, I would say.
Well, convert 320 kilometers an hour to, like, because
I already have
326.
Hey Siri, what's 320 kilometers in miles?
Okay.
Oh no!
Okay.
It didn't do it for me.
Okay, hang on. I'll get Siri on the kids. Hey Siri, what's 320 kilometers an hour in miles an hour?
320 kilometers per hour is 198.84 miles per hour.
So they're banking at 200. I'm correct.
I've never heard the Irish Siri. Wow, that was weird.
This is how professional we are. We bring out Siri during our broadcasts.
Does Apple know we're using her on broadcast? Does she not have a deal? Does she not have a deal with somebody else?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm all about focusing on this racing, man. This is going down to the wire. It's 11 laps to go now.
Lap 189.
And I
wow.
cannot scarcely believe it, but we are about to, I think we're about to enter just under 10 laps to go, and they're on like 70, 80 laps without a caution?
Last caution, 111. 110, sorry, because they pitted 111. So they are coming up to 90 laps. The 150 is reporting 150 is reporting 2 more laps of fuel. So that is practically what we're looking at. It's going to be 191, 192 is where these leaders will be pitting. I do not know what happens to the 87 or the 44 behind them. They may follow suit. Actually, but Asprey pitted on a different time. No, sorry. If the 150 pitted 151 with Asprey, also 151. So if the 150 is calling he's got 2 laps, and Wes Hurd confirmed that, they're all pitting in 2 laps. There's no question about it. They are all coming in with literally... It'd be 10 laps to go and they'll be pitting. You were right. It's going to be a 10-lap shootout.
And the 10-lap shootout starts now. 10 laps to go. We have completed 190 laps, 200 laps in total, and this is the situation. Wes Hurd Jr. leads the race, and he has to pit. Brandon Klug is just right on his back bottom. He has to pit. The next car is just coming up to the front of them, i.e. he's about to be lapped, and he's going into the pits. I think everybody's coming into the pits at this time around. Yes, they are.
All 5 of them in the pits, and the 87 breaks. The 87 spins. He hits the wall. That will not call the corner. The 44. Oh, those 2 spin. They're in a little battle. The key battle. Hood, Kluge. We're keeping our eyes on it. I've got my eyes glued on the pit lane. What are they going to do? They both come in now. Who goes up? Does any of them take tires? Is it just going to be a fuel? None of them's on the jack. It's fuel. It's fuel. And who's going to get out in front of them? It's just fuel, and Wes keeps in front of them.
He's lost it.
He spins. He's lost it with the tires. Brandon Kluge takes the lead.
Oh my God. Oh. Wes Hurd.
What was I saying? What was I saying about tires? They spun. The old tires, they killed themselves. Hurd has a 3-second deficit over Kluge. Now this comes into interesting scenarios because Kluge is on his own. The only man with him is the lap car of Brad Walsh, Adam Fittipaldi, and then also in front of them is the lap car of Mark Day. Excuse me, Mark Day and Brad Walsh are battling in front of them for P3. What is going on?
That is Brad Walsh going into the pit, so Mark Day definitely does have P3 in grasp, but the big upset being that the number 40 of Brandon Klug, from absolutely nowhere, he was sat at one point.
A lap down.
He was
a lap down.
Yes, a mistake by Wes Hurd, and he is kicking himself right now. I bet you he is, because he has been leading this race for the longest time, sat comfortably, and Brandon Klug, out of nowhere, because of a mistake that Wes Hurd made, he's now in first position with 7 laps to go. A nail-biting experience. He just has to keep it on the road. That's all he has to do.
Brad Kluge, racing for HW Racing, takes the lead. He started 5th at the start of this day. Carl Asprey, by the way, had to come into the pits again. I think that's a speeding penalty or an unsafe penalty after what happened between... Oh, no, sorry, I was thinking of his teammate. No, that is the same. Apology. That is a drive-through. Brian Broomsma has parked the car. Kluge on his own. He's got P3 behind him. That's right. P3 is lapped. Just let that sink in for a moment. P3 is lapped and could be the lucky dog if there's a caution. But if there's a caution, it could be the end of the race. We're on lap 194. Where is Brandon Kluge? He's crossing the start-finish line now to start lap 35. Where is Wes Hurd? Has the gap gotten bigger? The gap was 5.7 last lap. It's 5.6. He's trying to claw his way back. And I'll tell you what, he's got Stefan Wong a second and a half in front. Yes, Stefan has a broken engine, a broken car. It might help him when it comes to toe, because Brandon has no toe. But Wes is about to get some toe. So hold on to your seat. I don't think he can erase a 5-second deficit in 5 laps, but stranger things have happened.
So, this is the situation. Oh my dear God. That's the situation. That's all I could give.
Have you ever? No, I've never seen a situation like this before. The standard, the driving has been great, but you can see who knows their racecraft in these cars, because these guys at the front, Kluge and Wood, have just dominated today. And of course, so has Sean Brown until that unfortunate accident. Mark Day's been up there as well. You've got to give it up as well to other cars like Brian Boomsma. He was up there as well. Jambroni was up there at one stage as well. So there's been cars all the way around. I just listened to Adam on the radio, who just went, I can't believe I get to tell people I finished 2 laps down and finished 8th. Yep, that is the way it is right now.
It's the I've never seen a race just go from heads to tails so quickly, especially coming out of the pits. I was expecting nothing to happen in the pits. I was just expecting Wes to just come out of the pits and be like, right, it's on, Klug, me and you, 1-on-1, and then, oh dear.
It happens. Now, you've got to ask, the thing is, right, maybe taking 2 tyres would have been a good idea. That could have helped. I mean, I'm just theory crafting. You can't, at the end of the day, we've all done it. But remember how I was saying how you might get a bit of a toe? The gap's 4 seconds. It's lap 198 at 200. The gap's 4 seconds. Say it ain't so, Joe. Wes is battling a 43-1. I think he might run out a few laps short. A P2 is nothing to cry home about. I blew the lead in the 500 on the last corner and got a P2. Nothing to cry home about. But Brandon Kluge is in the hot seat right now. And I believe if there is a caution, that's it. I don't think there's an overtime. So Kluge, right now, if there's any caution, that would be it. We're on lap 199 to 200.
This
Kluge
is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Caution, if it goes out now, Brandon Klug would be your Daytona 500 1987 winner. Under any regard, he is 3 seconds ahead of Wes Hurd Jr., who himself would have won had it not been for the accident that he had coming out of the pits. Such an unfortunate situation, but it's come down to this.
Let's do it. One more time for John. We do this one more time for John as Brandon Kluge takes the white flag. He enters turn 1. He's got car 41 of Mark Day, who's in P3 behind him. Behind him is Adam Fatapolci, who's in 8, 2 laps down. Everybody's gained a lot of positions, but Wes Hurd, unfortunately, started second, and it looks like he's going to be finishing second with this man, Brandon Kluge. He started 7th. He worked his way up. Then he worked his way down, then had to wait for the opportunity to get back on the lead lap. He got back on the lead lap. They've been caution-free for 90 laps, but finally, we can say as they come out of turn 4, Kluge is going to do it. The winner of the Daytona 500, it's Brandon Kluge.
Brandon Kluge is your Daytona 500 winner, the car number 40, who neither of us, I would have imagined, would have thought after he had been lapped down that it would have just turned completely on its head. But here we are. He is your Daytona 500 European Sportsman winner. And I am oh, there's a plane landing.
Yep, welcome that. Perfect timing. What a win. And let's keep our eyes on Brandon. Let's see what he's going to do. This one is definitely for you, John. Brandon's going to tear those tires off when he comes to the start-finish line. He is gonna celebrate, and quite rightfully so will he celebrate.
Oh yeah, he is.
Through the grass. Why not? Absolutely why not? And he's gonna take that spin. And it's gonna be fantastic. And of course, Rob, I've got to say this right now because this is fitting, because they raced for HW Racing, and I know it's a different team, but there was a nice comment for John. I'll read this last one from MF Racing. They weren't in the race, but I think it's appropriate. So I think everybody will go with this. We have raced and practiced with John from the start of our time in the Pacific Majors. No one had a bad word to say of John, and we were gutted to hear the scourge that is cancer that is impacting John and his family. And we all wish them the best, and our prayers are with them all. John has been the nicest guy, even helping in practices when we have trouble with a car track combo, and it has shocked us to hear of him suffering in silence. You never alone in this community, so please speak up if help is needed. MFR is here for all, especially John. Well, I'll tell you what, Raidillon TV is here for John. The Major Series is here for John. GSRC, who's there with the top split, is here for John. Everybody who just broadcast is here for John. And I think we gave him a good show. We gave him a good show.
We'll let the results speak for themselves. But what we should do is we should go over and tell you guys, once we're done here, go watch the end of the Pro Series, because they're still... We've bet them, so I'm €20 sending way to Racing for John. Myself, I've donated on my own personal kitty to make sure that he... Or to, to show our appreciation for John, and to make sure that we do our little bit to help out as well. So 20 from us, and I think we do have Walsh, so Brad Walsh, who came home in 10th. Let's have a chat with him while the results go down on your screens.
Yeah, we've got Brad Walsh here. Brad Walsh, of course, racing a very interesting... I will say it was a very interesting, almost like a Sunday drive there for Brad Walsh in the Grizzly TFR team with his teammate, of course, Carl Atby. Brad, were you just hoping to get to the end and hope for a caution to push for the end?
Yeah, I was hoping for a late race caution there. We just never got it. We went green for that whole run there. Could never run them back down. I felt I had a car that could have got a top win. I was really quick. I was hoping for cautions late in that race there, and then on that last pit stop, old tires just pushed it too hard off pit road, and got a exiting pit road illegal. So, and then I came down pit road and I butchered the black flag. I did a drive-through instead of stop and go, so I had to come down 3 times instead of 2.
Oh. I was watching you, yeah. I was watching you all the time, and I was thinking to myself, they're waiting, and of course it's Daytona. You wait for a wreck at the end, and I think we were all surprised. We were all surprised, like to see what it was like. I mean,
they got spread out, and just never got one. I was trying to run them back. I eventually pulled away from Kyle, and I was trying to run them back down with the lap cars, but nobody could keep up with me and push me. Just nobody could. So
the pace. I mean, we've got the winner here, and we'll talk about it right now, because the pace that the guys at the front had for most of the most of the race was amazing. But Brandon Kluge is the winner. A very interesting finish there, because you were second coming out the final pit stop, and then Wes just loses it. So talk me through that whole situation, because it just looked like you were just waiting for the opportunity, and opportunity never came because it was handed to you.
Yeah, so I was just holding on tight, just riding behind him. I was planning moves in my head, thinking we'd be there at the end. And then leaving pit road, I saw him spin the tires, and he spun off, and I was like, oh, awesome. And I've got my teammates, Sean Brown and Eric. They were in the mic. They're like, do not mess up. So I'm like, shut up, let me drive.
I mean, one of the things we were saying is, did there ever come? Was there any thought process of taking 2 tires on that final pit stop?
Not at all.
Wow! Oh wow! That yeah.
Talking with one of my teammates, because I was like, what should I do for fuel? Sean Brown, he told me, he said, put this much in, you'll be fine. No tires. And I was like, you know what? No tires. Let's do it.
So it was just it was just a confidence thing. You were just like, yeah, let's just gun it, no matter what.
A shout out to Sean as well, because he was unfortunate there with what happened in the race. I think he had a spin. He got caught in a spin and a blowover, and then got caught in the big one. But of course, as we were saying, we're racing for John, and one of the things about racing for John is he created communities. He allowed people to create teams communities, and I think that there with Sean, I think you would agree, it's brilliant, because if you didn't have your teammate there, you'd have that issue. You led 9 laps, the last 9 laps, the important 9 laps at the end of the day. I suppose, really, I wouldn't say would you attribute it mainly to Sean helping you there?
For sure. He's definitely helped. He made the setup for me and Eric, so qualifying and race setup, and it felt amazing the entire time. So big shout out to Sean, and for sure Eric, because he was in our year practicing with us too.
So I mean, I don't know if you've got anything to add, Rob.
Other than the spin, were you guys thinking were you guys thinking to yourself, yourself and your crew, were you thinking to yourselves, what if they caught up to us?
At the end there with 9 to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the relative the entire time. Sean looking at it too. I said, I think he's gonna catch me, and if he did, I was just hoping maybe I could squeeze in behind him and just follow him, and then just keep planning my move from there. But we were watching that relative the entire last 9 laps.
It closed down to the end, 1.5 seconds. So if there was any more laps, I think he might have caught you down. But I mean, just to keep going like you did is just impressive as it is, especially because you were down early as well. And I can't remember what lap you took to get back onto the lead lap, but you had your issues at the start of the race, and you had to work your way back up. And of course, I mean, Rob doesn't do ovals. I do ovals, so I understand the whole thing that if you're a lap down, you've just got to wait for your opportunity. But when it comes to classic racing with the 87s, it's a different format when you start. So if you're a lap car, you've got to start at the front. So that must have been a lot of tension, because not only are you battling the cars you want to try and get the lucky dog position, you've also got the guys behind who are coming to lap you again.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember which caution it was, but we had Sean and I think Wes behind us were the leaders, and there was about 5 of us up front. Of course, we all want to stay on the lead lap, so they just kept going by us. I think there were 2 cautions back to back. I got passed right before the caution flag, so that took my lucky dog chance away. So I was real fortunate to be back in that position a couple cautions later. But there's just so much tension up there when you have all the lap cars around, and I know Sean was like, "Wow, I got to pick my way through here," because he was the leader at the time, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna try to stay out of the way, make sure I don't wreck anybody."
Well, you are the winner. I don't have anything else to add unless you do, Rob.
I don't. Other than, do you have any shoutouts?
Yeah, big shout out to HW Racing, everybody a part of it. Tom Wood, our owner. Falcon Race Wraps does a great job with these cars. They look amazing. So, big win for the team. Thanks to Eric and Sean as we prepare for this, and we'll be ready to try to win the next one.
Well, we hope to see you. Well, we hope to see you in the next one. Of course, it is wildcard coming up anyway. So, we will wish, if we don't see you, all the best, and we hope to look forward to seeing you at a later time. But congratulations once again, Brandon, for the win.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. So, that is round 2 of the major series.
Yeah, it is. I hate to see it go. I mean, I can't do ovals, but,
No. Very, very, very interesting. Now, I don't know if you've seen the stats. Do you want to take a guess how many laps Weds led?
How many laps did he lead?
155 laps.
Oh no.
His fastest lap was the last lap.
I feel so sorry for him as well, because he had it, and then just one simple mistake, and bang.
And I've done it. I've done it myself, and I think other people will also agree that they've had it as well. So that's ovals done for a while. Next month, March 14th, it's wildcard weekend. So we will be bringing. I love this. European side will be bringing the Formula 3s at Zolder. The Masters of Formula 3, March 14th. Of course, Americas will bring you the 1979 Long Beach Grand Prix. International will bring you 2 hours of Bathurst in GT3s and GT4s. But March 14th, put it down on your calendar if you haven't already. Zolder F3.
I'm so excited for that one. I'm so excited.
I was excited for Daytona. Rob's excited for Zolder. It's gonna be fantastic. But we are now gonna have to start wrapping up because I can't wait to watch the end of the main with 10 to go in the GSRC. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. If it's your first time watching Raidillon TV, hit that like button and that subscribe button if you feel like it. Any donations? No. Any donations to John?
Yeah, they go to John.
Anything.
They go to John.
We don't need anything. We do not need anything.
I can confirm.
Shout out once again.
I can confirm. I have sent in €20 for John, so we're doing our bit to help John in this troubling times, and we hope you're staying good out there, John. And we hope you enjoyed the race today if you were watching.
If you like what you see, and like I said, our schedule this week is Super Trufio Series tomorrow night. Wednesday night, the Racing Sim Rigs World Series. Friday night, it's an ultimate race weekend of the European Sprint Series. And then next Sunday, we'll be back for the Huskenveld GT Challenge. Like I said, a link to our Discord underneath if you'd like to join our community. A link to trackcam22.com. The important link, though, is that GoFundMe page. Because I mean, we usually sign off normally, but I don't want to sign off normally, Rob. I don't want to sign off like that because we've had a great race. We've had a good race, but today it's for John. So for one last time, thank you, John. All the best, and we'll keep racing for you. Even after this, I think everyone will keep racing for you. Your name will live on in the major series. And I think everyone will keep racing for you. And yeah, it's I never knew you, but everybody that said everything and everything that's happened has touched me. And I think Rob will vouch. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. But this one is for John. Good evening.